this is out there. So this is down in Shelby County right now. We've got the main core of our storm down there right around Clarksburg, soon to head into kind of the Cowden area out there towards Mode as well. Again, this tornado warning just dropped here within just a few minutes ago. Let's go ahead and put our velocity on here, and we'll take a look at things and analyze where exactly stuff is at right now. So if you can see right here in this general area, that's where we're seeing that rotation right now. Again, soon to enter the Clarksburg area out there near Fancher as well. So tornado warning has been issued. That means you need to get to the lowest level of your home if possible. If you don't have a basement, that's where you want to be. But if you don't have a basement, you want to get to the most interior portion of the lowest floor in your house. Again, this tornado warning is issued for parts of southeastern Shelby County here for the next several minutes. And it looks like this one will be in effect here until about 5:15 here in central Illinois. So we're tracking that storm right now. That is not the only storm in the area, but obviously it is going to have our attention here for a little while. This storm is moving. Let's check the speeds on it. This one is moving very slowly, 25 miles an hour. So we're not only dealing with the tornado threat here with this, we're also dealing with some very heavy rain in it as well. But obviously the tornado threat is going to take our attention. So what I'll do for you here real quick, I will grab one of my tools and we are going to put it at 25 miles an hour. That way we can track this thing out and you folks can see some other places here that are in the path of this tornado warned storm. We'll set it in motion here, kind of see what direction it's exactly heading. And it kind of does have a nice little southeast motion to it. So that's exactly what we'll do. We'll play this one out. And we're going to see over the next 30 minutes, the following locations need to take shelter here right now as a tornado warning is in place. And we are going to see some activity pick up here. So out there towards Mode, it looks to be in the area there at around 5:20. Again, very slow moving storm. These times are well in advance. Some of the bottom cities there, Stewartson, for example, 5:33. That is about 29 minutes from now. So you have a good amount of time, but you don't want to mess around anytime you are in a tornado warning polygon. You want to make sure that you are taking the steps right here at this moment in time. It's a warning for a reason. You don't have a lot of time. Don't want to panic, of course. Just want to get to that spot as soon as you can. So we are keeping track of that here right now. And we're going to just take a broad look at the area real quick just to show everybody what's going on here right now. And we'll notice that there's not a whole lot of activity here all across central Illinois, but we're starting to see some of these storms pop up here into the area, and that's eventually going to lead to potentially more problems like this. That's the main storm right now. We do have just kind of some spotty storms up and down the area. Do have some north of I-74 as well. Those not posing quite the same risk just because they are not in quite the same environment here right now. So that is the main storm that we are watching. Again, down there in southern Shelby County, this one just outside of just north of Cowden, it looks like, soon to enter the Fancher area. So again, can't stress enough, make sure that you are in the lowest level of your house possible. Basement if you have it, storm shelter if you have it, of course, as well. But you want to be into the lowest interior portion of your house if there is able to be a spot there as well. And of course, we have Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy and Meteorologist Jacob Dickey out there in the storm tracker. They are actually out there towards Shelby County, I believe. Guys, what are you seeing? Tell the folks where you're at and what's happening out there.
Okay, yeah, we are on this storm. We are in the tornado-warned polygon here. We are just west of Stewartson. The view right in front of us is essentially that storm that we're looking at that has the rotation. So we're looking westward. We probably just saw a little lightning strike there. Just to the north of Cowden is where the rotation is on this. We are traveling west of Stewartson right now and heading towards Mode, as you mentioned there. This storm, a little bit of a slight southeasterly jog. It has torrential downpours in there. And you can see the lightning as well. Quite a few lightning strikes. Now we're looking on the kind of the back edge of the storm here to find that little slot where there is some of the rotation that is occurring on the storm. So again, those folks there that are between Cowden and Stewartson and Mode, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. We're approaching this storm here. We're traveling straight west here, pretty much looking right into it where some of the rotation is going to be. So the right side of your screen is going to be all the heavy rain and precipitation where you're going to have maybe really heavy rainfall, maybe some hail in there. We've not had a lot of reports of that, but the rotating part of this storm is kind of on the south side of it, and we're looking straight into that right now. This storm is moving fairly slow, only about 25 miles an hour, but we are going to be in a perfect position here to track this as it is coming again between the Cowden and Stewartson area at this time, and we're getting a nice view. So both meteorologists, Jacob Dickey and myself, Jacob driving here, and so we're looking at it there on the camera. As you can see, some of the rotation of that storm, we're looking right into it there, and so we're going to have a pretty good little view maybe after we get through this tree line here, but this storm is right in front of us, and we're going to have that view of the storm as it comes in our direction. So again, it is definitely a serious situation here. We've seen a pretty good little uptick in the rotation on it here in the last 10 and pop that warning here for Shelby County as the
All right, thanks, Jacob, and thank you very much, Kevin. Obviously, signal's going to be just a little loose out there with all the trees around there and kind of the rural areas, so we'll keep our ears on them, and we'll definitely check back in with them as they continue to see more. We'll kind of have their shot over here in the distance, and if it's possible, production, can you guys get their shot over there on the squad wall so that way I can kind of keep an eye on them at all times, if that is all possible. So right now, we are watching, again, that tornado-warned storm. You saw Jacob and Kevin kind of pinpoint where they're at right now. Here's the center of rotation right there near Clarksburg. If you're in the Fancher area, again, now is the time to take action. You need to get to the lowest level of your home, the most interior room in your home, and take shelter and ride this one out. This isn't one of your typical kind of cellular storms that move on through pretty quickly around maybe 40 or 50 miles an hour. This one is just going to slowly drag its feet through the area. So you might have to stay in your shelter for a little longer than you're used to. Just stay in there until we give you the all clear, and things should be all right for you down that direction. One thing I want to point out here as well, we're watching this rotation right here. Keep that exact location in mind as we switch over to our reflectivity product. Notice there's some pretty heavy rain right over that spot. Now that might be just a little bit of lag in velocity updating, but it looks like things might be covered in some rain. Probably not going to have an absolutely clear shot at that storm. So we'll continue to monitor Jacob and Kevin's shot there, see if they can get any clear shot with that rain trying to kind of part through a little bit. But again, not your classic cellular storm. This one's pretty messy in nature. We've had a dominant rotation kind of take hold there in that storm, and that is what prompted the tornado warning. Again, very slow moving storm at 25 miles an hour is that storm motion as it tracks to the south and east. So you want to make sure that you are prepared and safe here if you are in this tornado warned storm. I want to reiterate to anybody who might just be joining us right now, this is the only warning that we're paying attention to here at the moment. We've only got things here just down there in Shelby County. All right, we want to check in with
Seth,
Jacob and Kevin again. Guys, let's see what's happening out there. What you got?
Yep. All right, so we're right on the storm here. We can see the view right there. It's like a little bit of a funnel that is trying to form. There's a lot of lightning on this storm right here. So Jacob is adjusting the camera here. And so this storm that we are on, essentially the rotating part of this is right between Cowden and Stewartson. We're halfway between both, and you're looking right into it. And you can see the view there that we're getting from our camera. This is a very intense storm. You can see there, we're looking at that little lowering that is occurring right in front of us here. The storm is just to our west, and you can kind of see it. This is what we're concerned about for a tornado. A lot of lightning here in this as well. The lightning strikes are constant with this. We're getting some of this rising motion that we're seeing, but the storm here, look how intense this is. We just show you the wide view here. This on the right side, your heavy rainfall, maybe a little bit of hail in there. You can almost see a little bit of a greenish tint to the sky, but we're looking right here at where there would be a potential tornado on this. Again, we are straight west of Stewartson and going to be northeast of Cowden. This storm is drifting to the south and east Stewartson. Be in your tornado safe spot here as this thing is literally moving. I mean, it's moving right at us here, to be honest with you. And you can just see how constant the lightning strikes are. Jacob, what are you thinking about what we're seeing right now?
Yeah, kind of looking at radar here, Kevin. It's kind of wrapped up in here. We're in the spot where the rotation's going to be just in front of us and to the right of the road. So we keep scanning the sky and seeing. At one point, we did have a funnel cloud in front of us, and we may end up having something new trying to come. This spot sticks out to me right in here. In fact, if you can see here, let me adjust that camera. I think, Kevin, in front of us there, to the left of the road, about 11 o'clock, I zoom in, I think that's going to be the funnel cloud that we were looking at earlier here, kind of in that edge of the storm. So we'll be keeping a close eye on this here. Again, this is about going to be just northeast of Cowden. It's going to be in the Clarksburg area, Lakewood. It's past you now. It's past Tower Hill. This is south of Shelbyville. But that to me is the area that stands out the most, Kevin. But I don't want to discount any of this area here. So folks that are in the area, if you're in Mode, if you're in Fancher, if you're in Clarksburg, downstream then Stewartson, perhaps this may carry it a little south and east. Sometimes as these storms strengthen with rotation, they'll take a more southeast jog. That would mean southern Cumberland and eventually downstream parts of Effingham County would be in the path of this one here. Now, as we're looking there, we've got to watch the whole area of the storm here, Kevin. On the right side, look at that dark core that's in there. There's some very heavy rain as well. And that circulation is kind of wrapped up in there from what we can see here. So, Kevin, you're kind of getting a view out the side there, seeing anything on to the north of where our location?
Yeah, so boy, just constant lightning, a lot of cloud to ground lightning, which is indicator of a very strong storm. But definitely there is some rising motion that's over here to our right that we're seeing here. And we just got to keep an eye on this thing here because we're going to have to probably retreat here in just a little bit to get back east of this thing because it is rolling right here in our general direction. And you're looking at the view here. This is, again, between the Stewartson and Cowden areas where we're located. We are looking right into this. I mean, we're right on the view of this thing and starting to get some of this rising motion right up here to our right, seeing some of this right here, right about through here. So definitely a serious situation right now for the folks that are down here into Shelby County. This, again, will continue to move to the south and east. And if there is something in there, it would be difficult to see potentially because of the fact that this could be rain wrapped here. So just kind of keep that in mind. And we're going to have to keep that in mind ourselves here as we're kind of looking into the storm.
And maybe Seth can help evaluate as well, Kevin. I want to look towards Oconee, off to the west, south of Pana. There's another little storm in the backside there. That one's a little further back, but we'll just have to keep an eye on all of these storms here, Kevin.
Yeah, definitely. All right. I think we're going to try to reposition here because we're getting kind of close with this here. I'm going to let Seth take over there for a second, and we will get back to you here in just a moment. So, Seth, we'll send it back to you for now.
Okay, thank you guys very much. Obviously getting some of the incredible shots there right there on the ground. That is our best indicator of what is actually happening there. The radar helps us a bunch, but to actually see that down there is definitely critical. One thing I want to pass along, National Weather Service has let this warning expire for the time being. I'm going to give it a few minutes here to see what the next decision is. I did see that they noted they weren't anticipating a downstream warning into Effingham County yet. We'll see if things kind of change here. They noted just a slight downtick in the rotation. Obviously, we have a shot out there, and Jacob and Kevin will be able to keep an eye on how that evolves in time as well. So technically, we are warning free here, tornado warning free for just the moment. We're going to stay here for just a few more minutes here and see how this one kind of plays out here in the next several minutes, because that is going to be what keeps us on here, or what lets us kind of let things go here for just a short period of time. Of course, we've got our 5:30 newscast coming up, so if anything, we'll get there very quickly. Want to note where exactly Kevin and Jacob are here right now. Of course, they're on the move, as they mentioned. Here's Cowden, here's Stewartson. They're just kind of right there. I believe it was County Highway 6 is what I saw on the map there. So they're right here. That storm, the main core of it, getting very close to them. So they're going to reposition to make sure that they are out of the path of that storm, and that they can continue to get ahead of it and make sure that they can see the absolute best view that they possibly can. Wanted to mention something that Jacob brought up as well. He mentioned the fact that there could be maybe just a little extra rotation starting to form on the backside of the storm. It kind of came down just a little bit in this last scan here, but notice just kind of north of Herrick, there's some broad greens and reds kind of touching each other there. Doesn't look like anything too high end just yet, but we're going to keep an eye on that, because obviously anywhere in the storm is going to bring us the potential for some tornadic activity. But this is our main source of rotation right now. Again, tornado warning has been lifted. This is still within a severe thunderstorm warning that does have a tornado possible tag on it, but the National Weather Service just a little bit ago noted that the rotation has come down just a little bit. We can even see that evidence here to a small degree. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the product here that lets us roll this back here in slow enough motion to where we can actually see things going on. So you can see maybe the red color, the pinkish color has toned down just a little bit. There's still obvious rotation. And of course, Jacob and Kevin have their eyes there on the ground, can still see stuff going on. So we're going to pay attention to that and see how things change here with time. Just going to quickly scroll through some of the stuff that the National Weather Service chat is relaying to us just to make sure that they are kind of letting us pick their brain a little bit as to where exactly they're thinking here with the warning continuation. They will keep the severe thunderstorm warning in effect now until 5:45. I believe the original warning was for 5:30. That is now until 5:45. So we are staying at that standard severe thunderstorm warning here for the moment. And again, still that tornado possible tag. You can see that rotation continuing to move on in. This may end up being a problem for some folks in the northern Effingham County area, even if it's not tornado warned. It could continue to be a storm that will have that potential to it. I'm going to freeze our velocity here real quick. So just kind of looking down the line, potentially out there closer to Shumway, northern Effingham County, out there towards Sigel as well. And if things play out a certain way, maybe the north end of Effingham just needs to pay attention to things. This is a very slow moving storm, 25-mile-an-hour storm motion. So it's going to take a little while before it actually gets there. As you saw that cone we drew earlier, 30 minutes from now, it still might not even be out of Shelby County. So this is a very slow moving storm. And there's plenty of time for those in Effingham County to get ready, but just keep an eye on this and we'll continue to inform you as things are continuing to progress there. So again, I know there's no tornado warnings right now. I'm just reading something fresh from the National Weather Service that I'll relay to everyone. They allowed the tornado warning to expire since the rotation broadened. They did update the severe thunderstorm warning to increase the hail size to 1-inch hail. That's quarter size hail. So we're going to continue to monitor this storm as it kind of travels here over the next about 10 minutes or so. Again, this is kind of a weird time. We've got our 5:30 newscast coming up here in just about 10 minutes. And I acknowledge that there's not a tornado warning here right now, but I've just got a feeling that we need to keep an eye on this for at least a couple more minutes. It may kind of mesh here into our 5:30 newscast. So for those wanting to see the CBS Evening News, kind of a little awkward period here. We really want to keep an eye on the storm. And of course, our newscast coming up here in just a short little bit. What I'll probably do is let this go through another scan. If things continue to pulse down, we'll let you rejoin programming there for the final 10 minutes before we hop over into our newscast. But just want to make sure folks have a heads up on this and that they're staying on top of things. So that way they can still see what they tuned in to see there on CBS, but obviously keep the folks in the path of this ready to go. So I believe we just got a new scan here not that long ago, and perhaps it brought things down just a little bit. I'll see if I can track things back here just a touch. And it looks like there maybe was a little change, but we're still keeping things pretty broad here at the moment. So continuing to watch Jacob and Kevin's shot. If all possible, I'm not sure if they're ready to chat here just yet, but I just want to check in on them, kind of where they're heading, get an idea of what exactly their plan is. So are they able to talk to us, guys? Do you have any idea if we have their signal here still? Okay, I'm going to, if they're able to, Kevin and Jacob, I just want to know where you guys are right now. What's your, what direction are you heading and what's the plan here?
Gotcha. Yep. Well, so we had to retreat a little bit back off to the east now. So now we're going to be heading towards Stewartson here. The storm is behind us, so that's what you're looking at. You're looking at the camera here from behind, and we're looking at that storm. So what we're going to do here is we're going to turn off here, and they're going to see it the front side of this here in just a moment. As we kind of navigate things a little bit here. So just bear with us as we're going to look back into the storm here, and you're going to see the view. This is what we're seeing. See this little lowering here off to the left, okay? That is where there's that rotation on the storm, okay? There's definitely still something there. And so this is going to be, again, west of Stewartson. That's exactly what our location is here right now. And you're looking right into that storm. You can see the intense lightning strikes. So we are essentially just west of 32. Okay, just west of 32 right now in the Stewartson area, looking right into the storm. The lowering that is showing up there that we've been watching this whole time, really heavy rainfall. Quite the structure to this as well that we've been watching. But boy, this thing is just dumping the rain, and that's what you're looking at with this kind of darker area that you see here. We are seeing, still some of this rising motion that is here kind of in the center part of your screen. And so that's the view that we are getting right now Jacob, that thing there, boy, dark skies, heavy rainfall, and again, the rotating part of that storm is directly right in front of us, essentially.
Yeah, that's right here. It does look a little more broad, but there's still a lot of wind that's wrapping around to the backside. And so I don't think the threat's over here, even though there's not a tornado.
I think it's cycling a little
bit.
It
is. It is, Kevin. Where that area of circulation is going to be is right back in there. So if you look here, this now looking down that road, that's straight to the west. And then this rain area right here is almost surging a little bit to the right. And our area of rotation is actually going to be tucked in the back there. Is where that's at. So just for a purpose, we're about 2 miles to the west of Strasburg. And so then you're able to see here the effect of that surge is this low little cloud that's in here, and a lot of turbulence with this, a lot of motion with those clouds, Kevin, isn't there?
There really is a lot of motion here showing up on this. So we're going to have to probably continue to head back east here to Stewartson to 32 there. But that storm, the storm that you're looking at here is the one of concern. I know that they dropped the tornado warning on this, but this thing is still moving pretty good. A lot of motion still showing up here with this. And so we're going to try to get just back about ahead of it. Yeah. So we're going to get back ahead of it here, get up to Stewartson there and probably drop just a little bit to the south. So now you're going to look at the view from behind now on our back camera as the storm is moving in. So if you are near Stewartson, I'll just give you a heads up to Sigel, kind of down the line there. If this thing would kind of turn a little bit more to the south and east, like I said, it's still a healthy storm. There's some good structure on it. We're going to be coming up to 32 to Stewartson here in just a moment and still watching this. Again, if there is that tornado in there, it would be, really kind of hidden, or at least the rotation hidden within the rain. This is what you call a big HP supercell, high precipitation supercell here, that is just dumping heavy rainfall. And because of the slow movement of it, it can cause some of the flooding there in some of the areas as well.
Yeah, some of the rainfall rates have been estimated by the National Weather Service to be 3 to 5 inches of rain an hour. So if that storm and that intensity stays in one spot, you end up with 3 to 5 inches. It's been moving a little south of east slowly, so we're adding up quickly to that. But it's these types of tropical air masses that give us those heavy rain producers. And so that's something, Kevin, where we have to watch the flooding threat as well. And that starts to ramp up now. And if these storms stay over the same area for a given period of time, you can really add those rain totals up quickly.
Yeah, so really coming down here again, we're just coming up to 32 here, just north of Stewartson, essentially. Still looking at the storm. I know the view that you're getting is from our back camera here, but this thing is still showing some motion with it. Definitely the lowerings that are still kind of occurring along this whole line. Still some broad rotation is showing up there on radar with this. So what we'll do here is Seth as well, me and Jacob kind of navigate here and to decide kind of what we're going to do here. We'll let you kind of show the radar view of this and exactly where it's going. I know we're coming up to the newscast that begins here at 5:30. We want to stay with this. We're just going to go ahead and stay with us all the way to the newscast there, Seth, since we're on this storm here, and it is looking pretty intense. So if you're down there towards Neoga and Sigel, be paying attention as this severe thunderstorm warning is heading in your direction. We'll see what they do here into Cumberland County before too long with an additional potential warning here. So now we are on 32. And now we're heading back south here. So that's what we're looking at right now. We're going to reposition. We'll have another shot here in just a little bit. Seth, we'll send it back to you for right now.
Okay, sounds good, guys. And thanks again for the nice close to the ground views there. Want to definitely keep track of this storm and see how things evolve here with time. So we're going to switch things back over here to our radar. They talked about they're heading south on 32 right now, just there through Stewartson. That's the direction they're heading. Obviously, the core of that storm just barely off to their west. I do have our stream online up here in the corner as well. I'm just getting a few things popping up in the chat, and I want to bring mention of this. It's been brought to my attention that the Sigel Church picnic may be ongoing right now. I do believe they would have been part of that original warning. Just want to make sure if you know anybody that might be out there right now doing that, make sure they find a way to get some shelter here pretty soon. Just because if that storm continues on the trajectory that it's on, things might get a little dicey out that direction. So again, if that picnic is happening and you know some folks out that way, give them a text, give them a call right now, let them know that they need to get inside. They need to get in a nice sturdy building there to kind of ride the storm out, because it's eventually going to get there. Even if it's not a tornado warned storm, by the time it gets there, things are going to get intense. It is going to rain a ton. So make sure you inform those folks down that direction to make sure that they are in the know on that. I'm going to bring up our velocity product again here, and we're going to notice things, again, maybe a little more broad than what they were before. Kind of see some distance between those darkest greens and those brightest reds. So maybe not the tight rotation that we had at one point, but things are still worth watching here, as this is eventually going to make its way outside of Shelby County, maybe getting close to that Effingham County and Cumberland County line here before too terribly long. I want to bring folks here that might just be tuning in just a little bit late to kind of refresh you on what's happening right now. We just have one main storm that we're watching. That is all across Shelby County. It is spreading over into parts of Coles County, so folks in Mattoon might be getting a little bit of that rain and just general thunderstorm activity. But folks in Champaign, Danville, Springfield, Decatur, there's nothing out there right now. Not saying that you're not going to be in any sort of threat at all here through the night. Just the way things sit right now, you are not seeing anything here in the picture. We'll have to watch how some of these other little thunderstorms progress with time. But we are focused on this one main storm that still does have that tornado possible tag in the far southeastern corner of Shelby County right now. Core of that storm heading right over Stewartson. And although we're keeping an eye on any sort of tornado risk with the storm, if you've been following here throughout the day, there's a flooding risk with these storms today as well. As mentioned, it's a 25-mile-an-hour storm motion, and look how intense that rain is. That means things are just dumping over the same spot there for a prolonged period of time. National Weather Service even mentioned the idea that there could be 3 to 5 inch per hour rainfall rates. So you could get 3 to 5 inches in just a short period of time, and that is plenty there to cause some flash flooding. So aside from the obvious risk there with any sort of rotation that may lead to some tornadoes, that is another thing that we will certainly need to pay attention to here. Mentioned also at one point there was a little bit of rotation on the back end of the storm, kind of closer there to the Herrick area. That one looks a little broad right now too, so kind of keeping our eyes on 2 different spots here. That one doesn't look quite as impressive as it did at one point. Of course, things can change in a hurry, so we'll continue to keep an eye out for that. But this is the main storm. If anything, it is going to be real windy inside that storm, even if there is no ongoing tornado right now. So we are going to continue to keep an eye out for that and see as this one continues to progress on. Again, if this thing continues on its current trajectory, northern Effingham County, Sigel, Lilyville might be some places there in the path of that storm as it continues to march there to the south and east, and we get a little bit more activity there, joining some other counties in the area as well. I see Jacob and Kevin now have kind of parked over on the side of the road. They've got another view of the storm. Guys, let us know what you're seeing, what you got out there.
Yep. We're looking here now. We're south of Stewartson here, and we have got a great view looking into the storm once again. So the thing does seem to want to be surging a little bit, maybe trying to take a little bit of a southeasterly jog a little bit. But you can see right in front of us the very low-lying clouds there, heavy rainfall there as well. And again, there's the view kind of from behind us, but in front of us is where you're going to have that. And so we're looking for any of those little lowerings there. And there's one kind of in front of us here, not super organized, but we're looking right into the storm right now. Again, still some broad rotation there, and that's going to be coming into the Stewartson area. We're just kind of repositioning here a little bit, but you can see in front of us, boy, that's the heavy rain. On the left side is going to be the left edge of the storm that's over here, and so we're looking at it. Again, we're just south of Stewartson. We're almost to the county line, almost to the Effingham and Shelby County line here right now. And so look at the rain shafts there. You can see that in front of us. You can see the wind kind of blowing those across the screen, and so that's the heavy rain and then the wind, and you can see the sheets of rain there, and you can literally see it there blowing across those farm fields that are in front of us here right now. And so you're going to get some strong winds within this. And again, the backside of this has always kind of had that strong wind. And that's where the strongest winds have been, is kind of embedded within the heavy rainfall that is here. And so what we're looking at here is a very intense storm with an incredible amount of cloud to ground lightning. We've been watching that almost constant here. And this storm is still very healthy at this point, although maybe not the same structure we had a little bit earlier. In front of us, though, is just that torrential downpours of rain. And you can see there on your screen across the field there where our visibility starts to reduce as a result of just how heavy the rainfall is just in front of us. So again, we're south of Stewartson, the heaviest here just to our north, which is what you're looking into. And you can see kind of those farm fields there off in the distance where that heavy rain is coming down. We haven't heard reports really too much of some hail, but I wouldn't be surprised if you get in the main core of that you may have some of it. But right now, this storm, more than anything, is definitely bringing a lot of heavy rainfall. So we're going to have to readjust here. We're going to continue to go back to the south here on 32. And basically, we're going to be going into Effingham County here in the next few minutes or so. So we'll continue to track things here for you. Seth, I know the newscast here just kind of beginning. So what we'll do here is, I know we don't have any additional tornado warnings in effect here. So I'll let you guys kind of take over there, how you see fit on proceeding there with the newscast and whatnot. And if we get any warnings, obviously, we're going to jump back in here with you. But we're going to kind of reposition on this thing here. And we're kind of getting into the heavy rainfall now. So we're going to try to get south of this. And for now, we will throw it back to you. Really intense storm here still, guys. So be paying attention if you're down towards Sigel and northern Effingham County and eventually southwestern Cumberland County as well. So Seth, for now, we'll send it back to you.
Okay, thank you guys very much. And of course, just let us know what you're seeing out there if you come across anything, and we'll continue to check back with you guys here every few minutes. Want to bring us back to here now. We can kind of start to see the storm entering from the Effingham area. We can see from our Skycam, definite lowering there in the distance. You can just kind of see how low some of those clouds are. So we're kind of getting an advantage point there from Effingham as well, although our best view is going to come from the storm tracker, as it is about as close to the action as you can possibly get. Want to bring us back in here to radar to see where that storm is right now. Just about to cross over into kind of the tri-county line here between Effingham County, Shelby County, and Cumberland County as well. So we're going to see that eventually make its way that direction. Still watching for any kind of rotation, but if you've seen our coverage in the past, you know that with those storms that have that tornado potential, they usually don't look like this on reflectivity. There's usually kind of a clear notch or a clearing. Doesn't mean that you can't have some sort of rotation or tornado within that storm. Just makes it a little harder to either see or a little harder for that storm to sustain itself. So we're going to just turn on our velocity picture. You can still see plenty of rotation in there. Things are just becoming a little messier, and that makes it a little harder to detect. As you saw Jacob and Kevin's shot, things have picked up as far as the rain goes, so it may be hard to really see any of the action going on right there in the core of that storm. That rotation now passing directly over Stewartson. So again, about 30 minutes ago is when we started our coverage, and well, things took about 30 minutes from when we drew that cone to actually get to Stewartson. So a very slow storm motion as things have just kind of been dragging their feet. But again, eventually entering into the Sigel area, parts of southwestern Cumberland County as well. So we'll be paying attention to that. I-57 could be in play here, as well as Highway 45 at some point, Route 45. So that is going to be something to watch too. If you know anybody that might be out there on the roads right now, whether it be 45 or 57 between Neoga and Sigel, make sure they know about this and just make sure that they are able to find some place to kind of hunker down here for just a short period of time, because that storm is going to go right over that particular section. Of course, things could be busy. Folks may be traveling here late on a Sunday. So that will certainly be something to give them heads up to as well. I want to throw on some rainfall totals here just real quickly. I'm going to start with the 1 hour rainfall totals. This might not span far enough here for us. In fact, I'm just going to put the 3 hour rainfall totals. And again, this storm didn't start 3 hours ago. It started maybe hour 25, hour 30 ago. So I'm going to drop in some radar indicated rainfall totals just to show you how much rain is being dumped here. So that little yellow spot northwest of Shelbyville, that's about 2.2 inches of rain in probably less than an hour is how long that storm was moving over there. So lots of heavy rain within these storms, as we've been seeing there from the storm tracker view. Another thing I want to throw on here is the lightning. We'll see just how much lightning here we're getting in the area. Just look how many bolts are popping up there. And we'll even drop a little tool in there, and we'll try that one again there because I let go of the mouse just a little early. Let's draw our tool in there and just kind of see how many lightning strikes have been detected here, and we will see it is all the way up to 547. And the difference between those negative and positive strikes, those positive strikes usually indicate a very strong storm. Those are kind of your stronger lightning strikes. So anytime those positives really outnumber those negatives, that means you definitely have a storm that is packing a punch there. So plenty of that among many other things. Of course, the lightning itself sometimes maybe forgotten about when you're talking about strong winds, when you're talking about a tornado threat. But that is certainly something to contend with, especially if there's some of those outdoor events going on. Like we mentioned, maybe the Sigel Church picnic happening right now. You don't want to be caught outside in the middle of any of that. So we definitely want to play our cards very safely here and make sure that we are not running any unnecessary risks with staying outside as this moves on through. Another thing to note, it looks like perhaps another area of broad rotation kind of popping up there near Paradise, entering into the southwestern corner of Coles County. Doesn't look like anything imminent happening there, but just kind of got to watch when those colors start to collide for any sort of interaction and evolution that might take place with time there. So keep an eye on that. If anything, maybe the wind gusts have picked up that direction as well. So we are keeping an eye on that. Do want to bring attention to any folks that may have tuned in to watch the 5:30 newscast. Obviously, we have begun some severe weather coverage here. It's just one storm, but it's got our eye a little bit here. Jacob and Kevin are out there. They can see it. We want to make sure that we're following this here for as long as it appears there is a somewhat imminent threat. And again, this rotation right over Stewartson right now continues to have our eye, and that'll be something that we are going to track and see how things change with time there as this eventually crosses over and gets close to a pretty populated area there in Effingham. We'll need to keep our eyes out for it. Looks like this will track north of there as of right now, but talked about the Sigel area, I-57, Route 45 as well. Those are places that could eventually be in the path of this thing as well. So really paying attention to how this rotation evolves with time. And just to give folks another refresher here who may be joining just a little bit late, this is right now the only major storm in the area. We do have some storm activity kind of out there across northern Cumberland County, across southern Coles County as well. That doesn't really have anything that we're too concerned about at the moment. We'll, of course, pay attention to that. But the main event just in one consolidated area down there in Shelby County, eventually into Effingham and Cumberland counties as well. So we'll continue to keep an eye out for how this one storm kind of moves with time. Didn't expect things to be huge and widespread today, but did know that if the storm could kind of isolate itself from the main set, that this would be the likely result when it all came down. And another thing to note too, there's probably several folks who are kind of thinking, well, why wasn't there a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch issued? Oftentimes those are only issued when you expect things to be widespread. That's why you got warnings as opposed to any watches. There just wasn't a big enough setup there to really make things to kind of trigger that watch and get more folks involved in on the action. So we're going to watch the storm as long as it continues on. Now you can see things have entered on over into the northern part of Effingham County, so starting to get closer to the city itself there. I'm going to just quickly take a look at the Skycam. Again, this looks to stay a little bit off to the north for the time being. We'll kind of zoom things out there because we've got a little bit of a view. And you kind of see just some little appendages even kind of hanging off of that storm in the distance. And I think I'm matching up screens here with what Jacob and Kevin are seeing. I'm going to point to it real quick for you folks. This little thing right here, you can see some of that rising motion, just that little tail almost. And I can see that Jacob and Kevin can see it as well. They've got a little bit of a cornfield in their way, but if possible, Jacob and Kevin, you guys have got your eyes on that thing right now. What are you seeing on the very far edge of that storm?
Yeah, so we're actually looking at the storm that's actually behind that one. This is actually going to be looking towards kind of the Cowden, Beecher City area. So we actually pivoted off of the one up there that's heading into Sigel because we noticed another little slight area of rotation and a little bit of a lowering there. So this is looking at the storm that, again, is back towards Cowden. Okay, we're looking straight west into the storm there. And so this is the view that we're getting. Notice a little bit of that rising motion that is within this as well. And so we kind of pivoted back there on that kind of backside because sometimes you can get a little bit of a redevelopment there. So there's kind of two areas that we're watching. Obviously, the one you were talking about there over towards Stewartson to Sigel, but this one again on the backside here between Beecher City and Cowden. So we are just west of Shumway, and looking at the storm there. That again is still you got you can see on the right side there is going to be where some of the heavier rain is going to be from the storm, but we're still looking straight into this thing near Cowden, which is also getting quite the little storm there. So we're just watching this carefully here because it just kind of had our attention there. So the storm there behind us. So that's the storm that is looking back towards Sigel and Stewartson area. And then the one obviously in front of us, we just wanted to take a quick glance at it there, because they're on the right side, just a little bit of a lowering of some kind there that is trying to show up as well. So we're keeping a close eye on that, even though, again, we had the storm that was definitely rotating quite a little bit earlier. That was over there again near Lakewood, north of Cowden. But it does look like the severe thunderstorm warnings are continuing. Looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warning that they have just issued. That warning there going to be in effect for Shelby and western Effingham counties, with that severe thunderstorm again moving to the southeast at 25 miles per hour. So the storm that you're looking at here is the one here that is kind of on the back edge of this, again, between Cowden and Beecher City. We're just watching that area there to see if there's anything kind of showing. If you can pan just a little bit to the right, you're going to see like a rain-free kind of base, and then the heavy rain, you almost kind of see the rain foot that's kind of coming down there on the right side of your screen. Oh, how about that double shot of lightning right in between those two little storms that we're looking at. So that's the view that we've got here in the storm tracker here right now. So they've got this new severe thunderstorm warning that stretches back to Cowden, just a sliver of Shelby County. So you're looking at it right there. And then, so yeah, from Shumway to Beecher City now within the warning. Effingham is within the warning. Again, you can see the lightning strike. Boy, just constant. This is what we mean by it. And you can see the lightning strikes right in front of us that keep kind of happening. Lots of cloud to ground lightning strikes. So make sure you are inside here, folks, because even if you're not dealing with, the rain, or, these lightning strikes are striking far out from the storm itself. So even if it's not raining, it doesn't mean you can't get struck by lightning. Again, you can just see how constant some of those strikes are, which we're looking at right in front of us. So again, we're just kind of watching the two areas here with this storm slow moving. Boy, I-57 would be a tough drive right now between Humboldt to Sigel, because it is really coming down. So you're looking at the backside of the storm, or the storm behind us is the one towards the Sigel area right now, and Stewartson to Neoga. In front of us is the storm that is you're looking literally into southern Shelby County, right along the Shelby and Effingham County line right now. We're in pretty much the northwest corner of Effingham County between Shumway and Beecher City, looking at this little characteristic here right in front of us. Again, we're just keeping an eye on it here, folks, because there was some of that broad rotation back on the back edge of this here. So we're keeping an eye on this as well as the lightning strikes continue. You can see the rain that is falling down there from the cloud, but we're watching some of that rise in motion that's kind of coming in there on the right side of that little cloud. But boy, the lightning again is just constant with this. So be careful if you're out there. Seth, I know you've been tracking this here as well. The Weather Service again talking about the severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. That's the only warning that we have in our area right now, if I'm correct. But we're going to continue to watch this here, and you can keep our shot up if you want. But just wanting to keep eyes on this just in case for our friends down here in Shelby and Effingham counties. Jacob, anything else you want to add here before we throw back to Seth?
Yeah, I think that the storm that's over Sigel in front of, or behind us, I should say, right north of Effingham, there still is some rotation in there. It's kind of broad. And then looking over the Lerna area, there's another little broad area. And then even southeast of Charleston, kind of looking at some of the different radars, you just get these little spots here. We got a little bit of wind shear in the atmosphere, and this is an area that had some decent instability. So worth watching here. The other thing that stands out to me is I zoom out a little bit and pan up. The interesting thing I see about this storm that's over the Cowden area heading towards Beecher City and Shumway and Moccasin, and probably much closer to Effingham than the storm that's just north of town is here. If you look, Kevin, you can kind of see the clouds in front of us are actually going back to the right. They're going back north. And so we're not in the area that's been impacted by the rain-cooled air from the storm that we were just looking at here. This storm's got a little bit more to work with. Often on the tail end, it can be a little more unimpeded for that. So be watching for Funkhauser, Dexter, Lake Sarah. Be kind of watching in those areas as well as this moves to the south and east, and eventually could end up far past Effingham to the south and east as well. So all of these areas, to me, Kevin, need to be watched, and we'll be watching it from here. And of course, that's in the studio, Kevin. So that's kind of what we're looking at. That stands out to me. The other thing is the heavy rain. Of course, I know that's some torrential rain that's falling. I know that they're getting a lot of rain in a short period of time. And south of Mattoon, Charleston, the Coles County EMA said they got 5 miles southwest of Mattoon, 1.5 inches in a short period of time there. So we are watching that pretty closely. Kevin?
All right, sounds good. So we'll continue to track these storms that are down here, Seth. For now, we will send it back to you. Again, the lightning, though, is just constant with these, and you can see that right there in our shot that we've been giving you this whole time. So, Seth, for now, from the storm tracker, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighting, Meteorologist Jacob Dickey here with you, and we're going to keep watching this stuff. We know we got a lot of followers and people that tune in to WCIA that are down here in Effingham County. So we definitely want to make sure we continue to provide that coverage to the folks down here and let them know what's going on. But boy, a lot of heavy rain with this system, and into Shelby County and Cumberland County there as well. You folks and to Coles County, we're watching this storm very carefully for you, and we'll keep you up to date here from the storm tracker. For now, Seth, we'll send it back over to you, and we'll let you know if we catch anything else.
Okay, thank you very much, guys, for continuing to keep eyes on the ground there. Just want to bring things back to our radar picture here. Here's your current reflectivity, and I was just about to mention the fact that although there's not a warning right there on that main storm, had a suspicion there was probably going to be one issue there before too long, so they've re-updated the warnings. Here's a look, again, at your reflectivity. You can kind of see this bowing shape here with the storm. That means things are starting to get pretty windy, and the fact is, if we look inside at our velocity product, there's several different things to watch right now. That feature that Kevin and Jacob were on moments ago, that's the one out here. Again, that one kind of weakened just a little bit. That's where you saw that tail there for just a short period of time. But now we're kind of shifting our focus certainly to the Sigel and Neoga areas. You can kind of see that really bright pink right there just outside of Sigel. It's a little bit of a broad rotation. I don't want to say the rotation's the most critical thing to pay attention to. It's that strong pocket of wind. Anytime you see that bright pink, that means things are getting well over 60 miles an hour. And again, we're looking just a little aloft in this storm, so those aren't surface winds, but there is a pretty strong pocket up there aloft in that storm, and that usually indicates things are pretty strong down at the surface as well. So if you are in the Sigel area, right now is the time. You got to get to shelter there, even if it's not a tornado warning. There's some pretty strong winds about to roll right through the area there. So we are watching how that plays out here. Also watching another source of wind up there across parts of northern Cumberland County into southern Coles County as well, just right outside of Trilla right now, between Trilla and Lerna. That's where another pocket of pretty strong winds has dropped into the picture as well. So we're watching features like that. We'll see how they interact within the storm. As you saw on the basic radar feature there, things are a little complicated. This is not just an easy storm where you can look right into and see the rotation or see kind of the features of it. This is just kind of a bowing segment that's just got a little bit of everything going on within it right now. So it's kind of hard to make out exactly what's happening within the actual storms itself, but that's why those radar products are very helpful. You can kind of detect the core, kind of detect those really strong winds, and you are able to see things as they maybe can't be seen as easily on the ground. So paying attention to those cores of very strong winds as we're starting to enter into new territory here for most of the coverage. It's been in Shelby County. Now we're starting to take over there into parts of Cumberland County, down there into Effingham County as well, eventually into Jasper County too, as we watch and see how things kind of evolve with time there, just to see how this system moves. There is quite a bit of instability down this direction. That's why those storms are popping up exactly where they are right now. So there's not going to be a whole lot to kind of suffocate these storms and prevent them from continuing to just grow a little bit, or at the very least maintain themselves as they continue to march on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pop on the Effingham camera here, and we'll see some features as this starts to roll on in. And there's not a whole lot of detail on it because the main stuff is actually above our camera right now. We're starting to see that shelf cloud kind of get ready to pass on over the top, and the rain will be soon to follow. Also notice there on the far left side of the screen, I'll pan the camera and just we'll take a zoom at it. That's the feature we were seeing on the far west side of the storm. That's what Jacob and Kevin there were seeing for just a period of time. Just a little bit of a lowering. They have the eyes on it. Again, it didn't look like anything incredible, but when it's that close to the ground, when you continue to have rising motion, it's worth paying attention to. Again, that is over closer to the Cowden area and out there towards Beecher City as well. That is not the main storm that we've been following since the beginning, but another feature that has since popped on within the last half hour or so. And it looks like we have an additional severe thunderstorm warning. This one includes at least Coles County. I'm going to get my radar picture back up here, and we can kind of take a look at how things are starting to change here. And we'll see that next warning now for parts of not only Coles County, but into Cumberland County, and eventually out there into Clark County as well. So place like Casey needs to be on alert right now. You need to get to your shelter as well. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, but notice kind of the orangish tint around that box. That means a tornado possible tag has been added to it. So what we'll do, we'll jump inside and we'll see the velocity features here on that storm. And you can see right north of Casey, just north of I-70 right there, this is that rotation that we are going to pay attention to. It looks a little broad right now, but it's kind of consolidated into one spot. I shouldn't say it's broad. It's kind of tight together, but it's not very intense just yet. So we'll be watching that particular feature as that works its way across I-70, eventually into Clark County. A severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it, that here just within the last 60 seconds. So several different features to watch now, not just one main storm, but one complex featuring all sorts of stuff happening within them, whether it be strong winds, whether it be rotation, or just downright heavy rain and some pretty frequent lightning as well. So watching that feature out there south of Cadman near Beecher City, watching a storm as it gets ready to move into Effingham. Doesn't look like the strongest winds are going to move right through Effingham, so you might be dodging the worst of it, but right here, southeast Shelby County, right over the top of Sigel. That's where some pretty strong winds of maybe 60 to 65 miles an hour are starting to move straight through. That'll be a problem for southern Cumberland County as well. And up here near the Cumberland and Coles County line as well, just outside of Cottonwood, south of Lerna, just past through Trilla. Again, anytime you see that pink, those are some pretty strong winds, and those will make their impacts felt there over a relatively isolated area. But it is going to pack a punch, so make sure that you are inside, away from windows there. Treat it as if it is a tornado-warned storm, because strong winds can cause some damage there as well, and you don't want to mess around with that. And again, that new severe thunderstorm warning just northwest of Casey, that one has just the broadest bit of rotation on it still. It's far away from any radar. We're switching between the Evansville radar, the radar in Lincoln as well. So we're going to try our best to get some sort of read on that and see what vantage point kind of helps us detect that storm a little bit. We're going to return things to our basic radar, our reflectivity, and just kind of reset some folks here who might just be starting to jump into the equation. Everything is down here closer to I-70. I'm going to quickly zoom out and then zoom back in. So that way folks in Champaign know that we've got, we're good for now. There's stuff down to the south. Danville, same thing. Decatur, same thing. Springfield, a lot of big populated areas that aren't seeing any action. But again, down there closer to the Effingham area, even across parts of Mattoon and Charleston, getting some storm activity. We want to make sure those folks down that direction are covered as well, because even though they're on the edges of our area, they need to know what is happening here with some of these storms as well. So not much happening north of I-70, but it's down there closer to the southern counties here in the area that need to continue to have these storms covered as they march on in. So we've got places like Toledo in severe thunderstorm warnings, Effingham within one, even out there in Casey as well. So kind of three main cores that we are paying attention to see how they will evolve here with time. And if there's any sort of tightening of rotation, if there's any sort of main core that starts to overtake some of the other ones around it, that'll be what kind of dictates what we see here moving forward. I'm going to look at the Effingham camera again here real quick, and we'll see as things start to move through. Again, you're going to kind of get a glancing blow in between storms here. There's not really a big punch coming your way. It's going to rain quite a bit. There's going to be quite a bit of lightning. That main core is up there in Sigel right now, so you might miss the worst of it. Plenty of heavy rain is going to be on its way as well. So we're going to be watching out for that, and we will see how that impacts Effingham here as we move ahead in time. And we'll return back to our radar here, because I believe, unless it's been just a little while now, we might have an additional warning. There might be one overlapping there. So essentially covering the same areas. I believe this one, this new one that popped up, is an extension on the one that was down there in southern Coles County. So that kind of is just another storm that is going to kind of be a 1-2 punch for places there in across the Coles, Cumberland, and Clark Tri-County line. That first storm moving through, bringing its winds, bringing its heavy rain. There's another line of storms moving on through too. So that's why there's some concern about flash flooding, because if you get a 1-2 punch from storms that are producing this much rain, things are going to pile up very quickly with how intense the rain is starting to fall there as well. It's been a little bit since we've checked in with Jacob and Kevin. And again, we're getting to the very tail end here of our 5 o'clock of the 5 o'clock hour and our 5:30 newscast. At 6 o'clock, we'll probably let it go to 60 minutes as long as there's no tornado warnings in the area. But I want to make sure we get a check of Jacob and Kevin out there. Guys, remind everyone where you're at, and pretty dark and intimidating storm we've got there.
Yeah, no, it really is. We're still looking at this, and I gotta tell you, there's still a little bit of rotation on this thing, and we are basically south of Beecher City, near Moccasin, and boy, there is a lot of lightning. There's still some rotation. You're looking at that right into the storm. So I mean, it's literally right beside us. If this thing would potentially drop something, I mean, it is right here. You can see the clouds that are. If you zoom in maybe just a little bit to the area there, you can see a little bit of motion there in one direction with some of the clouds there, and then another direction, and that's some of that rotation that we talk about. And we're looking right at it. So again, this storm here has always kind of had some of this broad rotation on it for a good period of time. Seems to be strengthening just a little bit here from our vantage point. Again, we are south of Beecher City near Moccasin. We are in the extreme northwest corner of Effingham County, and we're looking right at where that storm would potentially drop a tornado if that rotation would be a little bit stronger, but it is definitely present. This is definitely a low area here, and you can definitely see some of this motion that is getting kicked up. Some of that rising motion that you look at in that storm. So it is a very intense storm here, guys. I'm going to tell them we're watching this thing, and we've got our eyes on it. And if it would drop something, it is literally right off here to our right. You're looking at the view here that we're getting from the storm tracker, and boy, a lot of lightning with it here as well. So I know we're coming up to 6 o'clock here, and what we're going to do here is if we get any other reports or see anything, we'll let you know. But I mean, we're looking right at this storm right here. Again, extreme northwestern portions of Effingham County, kind of this back side. We're definitely getting some rotation still on this, and that classic rising motion within it. So we're watching it, guys. We're going to continue to, yeah, there you go. See right there. So we got a nice little shot of it right there. See that motion rising up into to the storm there, and then the whole thing is kind of rotating around itself there. And so that's what we're watching here. That, you know, so yeah, you've got
That's a funnel.
maybe a little funnel trying to form there as well. We'll continue to watch it here, but we might be trying to get a little funnel. Let's trying to go here, guys. It's again, we're looking right into the storm. It's just off to our right, and maybe a little dissipating funnel there, but still, Seth, something to just keep an eye on here if you're in Effingham, because this is the back edge of this storm that eventually is going to come in. I know you're talking about a lot of people over there towards, you know, Toledo and Montrose, Green Up areas, KZ, but let's not discount this back edge here that's going to be coming into Effingham here in the next few minutes. So again, I know we're coming up to 6 o'clock, which we'll probably just go back to regular programming unless another tornado warning continues, but we're going to continue the streaming here with Seth here online as well. So we're going to continue to watch these storms and keep you up to date so the folks can stay safe down here, but giving you the best views that we can from the Storm Tracker meteorologist Jacob Dickey and Kevin Lighty in the Storm Tracker. For now, Seth, we will send it back to you.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, definitely keep us informed there and continue to keep eyes on everything. We're going to start to wrap up things here real quick because, of course, we've got 60 minutes coming up here. We want to just remind folks of what all is going on. Just a big complex of storms, lots of winds within them as well. Several warnings out here. We're not going to leave you in the dark. We'll continue our digital coverage. You can, of course, find that on our Facebook, our Twitter, whether it be the actual news, WCI3 Facebook or Twitter, or just our individual meteorologist platforms. And, of course, online as well. We will continue to stream things and let you know kind of what is happening here with these storms. But we definitely want to begin to wrap things up here and send things back to normal CBS programming. We'll be back. If there is any sort of tornado warnings, we will jump back on here and keep folks informed with second-by-second action. But until that happens, if it does at all, we're going to wrap up things here and stay on our digital platforms only. So thanks again for joining us. Hopefully you were able to stay informed here and stay ahead of the storms. Again, find us over on our digital platforms. Hopefully we don't have to interrupt again soon. It'd be good if I don't see you again until tonight at 10 o'clock, but we will be right here just in case things happen. So for meteorologist Jacob Dickey, for chief meteorologist Kevin Lighty, I'm meteorologist Seth Bonoff. We will now return things back to CBS programming. Thank you. So just to remain on standby in case. Alrighty, folks, we have transitioned over to our digital platforms now. Please let me know, anyone out there in the comments, if you can hear me here, and we will continue to get things going here. Always just a little bit of adjustment to make sure that we've got things continuing to go over here on the digital side of things. So just real quick, let me know here if you guys are picking up my microphone, and we will proceed here with our continuing coverage of the severe weather across the area as it continues to move directly over the I-70 region here. Plenty of strong winds, plenty of heavy rain in that pocket as well. Plenty of stuff. Okay, perfect. People say they can hear me, so we'll bring myself up here and we'll continue on here with our digital coverage. Several warnings. I count at least 4 of them right now. We've got one heading right towards the Effingham County area. That's the one Jacob and Kevin are kind of keeping close eyes on to make sure any sort of a rotation develops, that nothing is going to get you out of hand. Another pretty broad warning here across the Tri-County area, Effingham, Jasper, and Cumberland counties, and then yet another Tri-County area warning there that is centered right over Casey. That would be for Clark, Cumberland, and Coles County as well. So, of course, continue to let us know what's going on in the comments. Things are just a little bit more loose now that we're on our digital platforms. I could probably talk to you folks in the chat just a little bit better. So let us know what you're seeing. Let us know where you're watching from. And, of course, make sure that you're staying safe. If you see your town on this radar right now, you want to make sure that you are getting to a safe place here, so that way we can continue to have you covered and make sure that you are staying on top of things here. What I'll do real quick is check out the Effingham Skycam. You can still see some details out there on the left side of the screen. That's facing due west, so that's the very tail of that complex of storms, continuing to show just a little bit of a lowering that way as well in the distance. So watching how that one plays out. But other than that, you look to the right, there's just this big, messy curtain of rain. That is that severe thunderstorm warning pushing on through. That's those strong gusts about to take place. And, of course, plenty of that heavy rain about to move into the picture as well. Let's pop up our velocity product and see how things are shaping up on there. And we will see, again, plenty of pockets of just strong wind gusts here. And we're kind of on a fine line between the maximum distance of that Lincoln radar and the maximum distance of that Evansville radar. Our stuff is smart enough to switch over to the closest radar. So you might see those colors invert just a little bit. Doesn't mean anything different. It just means that in relation to certain radars, the directions are kind of changing up there just a little bit. So we are watching some of these strong winds as they move through parts of Cumberland County, across eventually into Clark County as well, with that storm heading on over into Casey. And you can see, again, this is the Evansville radar. So these winds are heading towards that radar. That's why it shows up in green. If I go a little bit to the left, it'll turn red because it's going away from that Lincoln radar. Same direction, just a matter of in relation to what radar it's picking up on. But you can see these pink pockets, just these strong, intense gusts starting to push on through. And eventually here crossing the I-70 area and making sure that folks are staying safe. Again, if you know someone kind of traveling there on the interstate, make sure they are able to get off as soon as possible there, the quickest exit, and just make sure to kind of ride things out, see if they can get to a shelter there real quick, a quick gas station or something, so that way they can just stay a little more on top of things here as well. We continue to have meteorologist Jacob Dickey and Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy out there as well. What I'll do here real quick, things are just a little trickier to navigate now that we're on the digital side of things here, but I want to make sure that we are still able to listen in on them. And not sure what you guys have to do. I can't hear you in my ear just yet, but I'm going to let you guys take over here for just a minute. Let the folks know where you're at and obviously what you're seeing here.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Seth. Hopefully you can hear us there. We are north of Altamont now. We're looking at the storm that's basically coming towards the Shumway area. Still, we've had that little lowering there and that constant lightning that we continue to get a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning in this. We've had this kind of lowering this whole time. Some broad rotation is, embedded within this storm here. I don't see anything, super close to the ground, but this has been the same area that we've been watching on this backside. The backside of all of this here is what we're looking at with our storm.
lots of cloud to ground lightning. You got the heavy rainfall that's within there, but still some of that motion, maybe getting a little bit less than what we had even just about a minute ago. But we're pretty much looking right into this thing, and we're going to continue to kind of adjust our position on it. But again, this is the area that we're watching with the concern for, maybe the tornadic potential. I don't see anything immediate at this time, but boy, is that lightning just constant here with this storm. This is the one that actually is going to probably clip the north side of Effingham. So we're looking at it now. We are west of Effingham, so that's what we're looking at here. The view that you're getting from the storm tracker. So we've got a great view of it. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. So there are no tornado warnings in effect, but boy, there are several areas where the rotation is still quite strong, and several areas where there could be a little spin up. The Weather Service has been talking about the potential for these what are called QLCS tornadoes. So basically along the squall line, it's not your classic supercell. So instead, you've got these little embedded areas there where you could have rotation and a quick little spin up of a tornado. And I think that's starting to show up a little bit there north of Greenup. Definitely some strong winds. There's a surge of winds between, say Lerna down to Toledo and north of Greenup that's coming in. And that's one area of concern. But we've just kind of been watching this, what we like to call the tail end Charlie. It's kind of the back, it's the storm on the back side there, and still watching some of that broad rotation. Again, we are north of Altamont, looking right into the storm that is pretty much coming into the Shumway area right now. And that's where the camera is pointed. And so we just kind of keep watching that little spot there. And here comes a deer across the field.
Second one of the day.
Second one of the day, watching the deer. When the animals are moving, right? It's always a sign there.
Yeah, look right here.
Maybe trying to get maybe another little funnel or little appendage, trying to come down a little bit. It's small there, but again, there is that broad rotation there. So we get these little fingers that come down sometimes. And so we're just kind of scanning the whole sky here along this area in northwestern Effingham County. Jacob, what are you seeing over there?
Yeah, Kevin, first off, I'll just let you look right here at the house. That's from an earlier storm.
Yeah.
Had some hail damage where we are here. And so that is this spot. And then kind of looking at here, there is definitely some weak rotation within this. At times, it seems like it pulses up and down a little bit. Kind of look it in there. It's messy. It's a very scuddy. And that just means it's not quite organized. But sometimes what you get is that can really start to tighten up pretty quickly. And so that's just what we're going to keep an eye on. I'm kind of looking more middle of the screen and to the left of the screen is where I'm eyeballing things here. So that is something that we're keeping an eye on. And Seth, I know you're getting some stuff taken care of behind the scenes. You can talk to us as well with what you're seeing. So feel free to jump in if you've got something to add, or if you can just let us know that you're ready and whatnot. That's good because we can hear you. But looking here, there's some motion on that, Kevin. If you kind of look in the middle there, it's turbulent. Most likely the mid-levels are seeing stronger rotation. But at this point, Kevin, down to the surface, just not fully connecting down, but that could still change here before long.
Yep, that's exactly right. We just kind of have to keep watching these. So these are, the storms that you're looking at here. Okay, Seth can hear us great. So the storms that you're looking at here are the ones that, again, kind of on the back edge of that whole line. But I gotta tell you, there are other storms that are trying to form, back behind this over near Verdon and east of Chatham and Pawnee, and then also back down there towards Pana and Tower Hill again, where this kind of all began, where we saw some of that rotation. But there is, some of this rotation still within this storm here. We've been watching it. It's, it's not super tight, but it is broad in structure. And we just kind of have to watch this whole area here as it has consistently kind of brought with it those really strong winds. And so we're watching this area here. And then, boy, I got to tell you, I think the winds coming into the Greenup and Toledo area are definitely packing a punch down there as well. I think they're getting hit pretty good. So Jacob's kind of zooming into that area there of the storms that are definitely still looking quite ominous down here in northwestern Effingham County, near the Effingham-Shelby County line. is where we're located. But those winds, again, that are coming in onto the storms just to our east that we initially were following, still looking pretty good. And so that's going to be Greenup, KZ areas. That's where those storms are really still going to have that wind threat associated with them. And then maybe a little bit of that QLCS, what we call little embedded spin-up tornadoes that can occur on the leading edge of that line of storms. And so definitely something to keep an eye on there. But we consistently are still seeing, again, this little back edge area where that rotation is still showing up. Again, slow moving storm too. Again, we're near the Shumway area right now, and that's what we're looking at. Looks like the Weather Service, I got something new here. Looks like another severe thunderstorm.
It's a watch.
Actually, it's a watch.
Yeah.
It's a watch. Yeah, go ahead. So it looks like you got a watch there coming in. I'll let Seth kind of talk about the details of that as we continue to monitor things down here in northwest Effingham County.
All right. Thank you very much, Kevin and Jacob, for continuing to provide those eyes on the ground for us. We will, of course, stay in touch with you and see if anything changes down that direction. Now, what I'll do here is I will switch things back to myself, and we will kind of just give you an overview of everything that is happening here right now. And we will start to notice, again, plenty of severe thunderstorm warnings out there right now. But what I want to do is back things out just a little bit and show where exactly this watch has been issued. You're seeing it for the first time, the same as I am here. So we will throw those up, and we can see these counties highlighted in pink. That would be Christian County, Shelby County, Effingham, Cumberland, Clark, Crawford, and Jasper counties as well. So all those places are in a severe thunderstorm watch until they've got it right now, until it looks like, let me double check and make sure I'm reading this right. It looks like it's all the way until midnight tonight. I'm not 100% sure if that's how long it will remain, but at least for now, we've got a severe thunderstorm watch all the way until midnight here local time. So we'll see how things play out. If these storms continue to kind of train on top of one another, that's going to make it to where they don't really leave the area. So we'll pay attention to that. More than anything, though, don't necessarily pay attention to the time as much as just the fact that there is a watch out there. We need to pay attention to stuff because it's gone away from just being a couple isolated storms to now a bigger cluster of storms that is starting to pick up some activity. And we're even seeing here on the back end of this stuff, back up there into Shelby County, back over there towards Christian County, a few more storms have popped up in the wake of this other stuff. And we can see that there is even just a little bit of lightning popping up there. I'll let the data kind of load up there. Might be lagging behind just a little bit, but starting to see some redevelopment on the back end of everything up that direction. Let's take you back to the main event down here that is across much of the I-70 region. We are seeing right there into parts of Cumberland County, Clark County, and soon into Jasper County as well. That's where the strongest storms are hanging out right now. And what we are going to do is flip things back over to velocity, and we'll show you from the Evansville radar here, just that kind of bowing look to this line of storms as the winds just really start to surge out here, starting to move out of Cumberland County. That main line of winds it is going to head into Clark County, going to head into parts of northern Jasper County if it is not already. So just be watching for places like Hidalgo out there near Rose Hill. Eventually maybe grazing the north side of Newton. I think it may stay just outside of town there, but a place like KZ really needs to pay attention to stuff because there is another set of strong winds about to enter into the picture there soon as well. So we will pay attention to how that plays out. And of course, we are somewhat relying on you all in the chat to let us know what's happening where you are, kind of running around here checking a couple of things. So if you guys just want to let us know if you are seeing anything worth knowing right now, we will, of course, stay on top of that and perhaps answer any questions that folks may have as far as anything that is happening here at the moment. I want to show you the Effingham camera again. Things are starting to rain right there in town. You can see just that big, thick curtain of rain starting to move on in. So things are really going to pick up here in intensity as far as the rain goes. Might get a little gusty. Again, not seeing intense winds moving through Effingham, but we are going to see some strong winds at least start to impact parts of the city there. So we will stay on top of that. And what I also will do here real quick is pop up some of our rainfall totals just to see how much rain has dropped behind all this stuff, because there is a flooding concern with these showers and storms. Talked about how there's storms developing on the backside of all this. If those storms start to grow and expand, even if they don't bring big wind gusts, even if they don't bring a tornado threat, they're going to bring a lot of rain to places who have already had a lot of rain. So that's going to pile things up very quickly here. Just kind of roughly put up rainfall totals over the last 6 hours. That doesn't mean that you divide these rainfall totals by 6 hours and that's how fast it's falling. This has just been within the last couple of hours here, but just making sure I'm not missing anything from earlier in the day. Up there just northwest of Shelbyville, a quick 3 inches has dumped up that direction as well. And again, this could just be the start for a few folks out here in the greens. That's kind of the 2+ inch range. There might be more storms coming in here in the next few hours as well. So that's going to pile maybe another 2 inches onto that. And of course, things can quickly stack up once you start to get a lot of that activity to pile on in there as well. And just for anyone who missed it, as we revealed it here just a few minutes ago, there is now a severe thunderstorm watch for places down mainly around the I-70 area, not exclusively there, though. Still have one for Christian County, have one for Shelby County, and then you have Effingham, Cumberland, Jasper, Clark, and Crawford counties. That is in place until midnight. We'll see how long that hangs around. There's still a chance for some storms to develop here deeper into the evening. We like to think that the deeper in the evening we get, the more it kind of transitions into mainly a big-time rain threat and a flooding threat. But we will, of course, keep an eye on any sort of gusts that could come with that as well. So that will be something else to keep in mind and just kind of acknowledge here as these storms maybe start to pass the baton a little bit, as far as maybe not looking at the same tornado threat we did at one point in time, but you've got some strong winds starting to pick up there, and you've got plenty of heavy rain that is starting to move into the area as well. Looks like we've consolidated about 2 or 3 different warnings into one just large, broad warning. You can see just this one main box here that encompasses 4 different counties. It does have that red outline around it as well. And I believe that would most likely be for, yes, the continued tornado possible tag. So anyone in this big, large polygon here that spans parts of 4 different counties, that main core is going to push on through. It is going to get really windy there for a period of time, and things are going to definitely pick up. So just be ready. Again, stay inside. Don't go outside, even if these aren't tornado warnings. Kind of treat them like they are. Those strong wind gusts can maybe blow over some big branches. You don't want to be upstairs. You don't want to have the roof cave in on you if a tree falls on top of your house. You just want to make sure that you are away from any exterior rooms there to avoid something like that from happening. So we will move things back over closer to the Effingham area as we kind of keep an eye on the velocity. Looks like things are a little flat as far as any sort of rotation that might be passing through there that we've been keeping an eye on at some point, at least from a radar perspective. But the rain is probably starting to really pick up there and really start to bring things up a notch as far as what you're going to be seeing with any sort of flood potential out that direction as well. So keeping an eye on how everything's playing out there, mainly across the I-70 area. We're going to back things out here just a little bit and just kind of give you an overview for any folks that might be either late to joining us or haven't seen Champaign or Danville or Decatur pop up on the board a while and are worried about things up this direction. Right now, kind of just south of I-72 for the most part. The only reason I hesitate to say those folks are in the clear is because we've got a few of these pop-up storms happening as these main storms kind of throw out some of those boundaries. You never know when some of that unstable air is going to be tapped into as those boundaries lift things back up and start to generate some more of that activity. Hopefully, though, if things play out the way they are currently trending to with this line, hopefully it picks up a little speed and it gets out of our coverage area here before too long. So that way we can kind of just focus on maybe just that flooding threat more than anything with any kind of storms to follow up after. So hopefully things are going to just push out of the area. But again, very slow storm motion here. I'm going to check back in and see what the latest indication is here as far as how fast some of these storms are moving. Picked up just a hair. It's now moving at 30 miles an hour as opposed to that 25 miles an hour it was at one point. Let's grab a different tool here, our little squall line tool. We'll be able to trace the length of that line and let folks know who is in the path here of this storm and when it might arrive for those down the line here. So we'll grab very southern end of it and trace it all the way up there into close to Marshall, and we'll just drag this thing out, and we'll let those folks in the path of this thing know. Wheeler, things are about to pick up here right now. It's already over the top of you. Let me move that here just a little bit so that way I'm not blocking it here. We've got Liss, we've got Newton there closer to 6:30, so you've got a little bit of time, and then farther down the line closer to 6:45 would be when it is set to enter the Oblong area as well. So watching that main core of storms to see how it evolves with time, to see how things will play out with that. Also keep an eye on some of this activity following up everything. Just a few of these storms popping up. Doesn't look like anything crazy as far as any kind of winds go, but you see the lightning picking up. That's usually the first kind of indication that a storm may be gaining some strength. So it may not look like a big threat right now. We'll kind of see how that changes a little bit here with time. You can kind of just see some of those greens and reds starting to pop up there. So starting to get some wind signatures that might be something to contend with here at some point as well. So gonna check out any people listing some things in the chat here just to see if we're missing out on anything. Lots of folks reporting some heavy rain, really strong winds on the north side of Effingham. We've got some heavy rain in Marshall as well. Got somebody asking about Clay County as well. Looks like for the moment, things are going to stay away from you for now, which is good because you had plenty of heavy rain if you were on the southern half of the county there yesterday. So definitely don't want too much more of that. Things look all right from right now. And now that storm is right over Effingham, someone reminded me it'd probably be a good idea to check out what that sky cam looks like here. And we'll see, yeah, that rain has really picked up here. Notice the trees rather still, so not seeing big time winds punching through town there just yet. But you're getting yourself a nice steady rain, and that is absolutely acceptable here for you. You want to dodge the severe weather, get the rain that you want and need, and kind of walk away from things more positive than maybe you would have thought when you had a severe warned storm starting to move your direction. So we will see how things change there, but at least for the moment, just looks like some heavy rain is dropping there as well. Also battling a fly that's kind of zooming around here in the weather center. So if you need me swatting things around, I'm not going crazy. I've just got a little bug up here with me. So heavy rain in Effingham right now. We'll back things out to the radar picture, the reflectivity, and show you where everything is heading. Very slow storm motions. Again, I showed you that little line earlier when I traced it out. There's some places in the path of that thing that it won't get there till 6:45, so very slow moving. Hopefully by the time we get closer to about 7 o'clock or so, we'll start to see things hopefully exit the area without too much more redevelopment on the back end. That is a little bit of a concern that we could see some more stuff here at some point in time as some of these trailing storms will be in the path of things as well and can continue to bring some rain over the same places that already have had plenty of heavy rain as. And I'm getting something in my ear here. Let me check out this storm. Oh, yeah, we've got a little bit of a kind of looks like things are shaping up just a little bit better there over towards Macoupin and Montgomery County. You can kind of see, yeah, just southwest of Farmersville there. We've got just a little bit of a rotation starting to pop up, and things are pretty tight together. So we'll see how that evolves. That's exactly why I say when you look at the radar and you see these storms behind those main storms, you can't discount them because things like this could really start to take shape there, and things could really pick up that way as well. So watching out in Farmers. Okay, yeah, I just got the latest scan there. Things have really picked up. You can see some really bright greens and those brightening reds as well. So I know that's kind of on the edge of our coverage area. But if you are up there across I-55, Farmersville, Pittman, even out there in parts of far northeastern Macoupin County, watch out for this one because there's certainly some evidence that indicates that there might be something really tightening up and strengthening there. So we'll watch that core. If you know someone that is traveling on I-55 close that direction or just kind of driving around as well, make sure they're able to kind of get over here and find some shelter here, because if that storm pulses up and continues to trend that direction, that might be something we really have to take our focus here before too long. Also seeing just a little bit of a signature kind of popping up there southwest of Shelbyville. Once again, you can kind of see some of these colors coming close together as well, watching to see how that plays out. I'm going to throw reflectivity over the top of that as well. And you can kind of see, yeah, a little bit of a strengthening core there, some of the pinks within that storm itself, the higher reflectivities, that indicates some pretty heavy rain starting to take shape that direction. So I don't want it to just come down to the places that are actively in the warnings, although that is taking the priority. If you have a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust slamming your house right now, you want to know what's happening. But this stuff, okay, now we do have a tornado warning there on the far northern part, the panhandle, I guess, let's call it, of Montgomery County. So we have a new tornado warning here in effect that has just been issued here within the last couple of seconds here. This one is mainly just across that little thin section there in Montgomery County. This one is probably a slow mover. I haven't been tracking the motion of it here for too long, but this one is only moving 20 miles an hour. So this one's sitting right over the top of the Farmersville area, right there near Pittman as well. This one just has 20-mile-an-hour storm motion, and this warning is set to expire at 7:15 p.m. So this is going to be a warning for close to an hour out that direction. So if you are out that way, you know anyone out that way, this looks like just almost a baby little supercell here. You can see that nice hook. You can see that clear notch there. That's where that rotation is going to be allowed to really intensify over just a small portion here of the just a small portion of our area as a whole, but it is going to be real tight right there in that northern part of Montgomery County. So we will pay very close attention to how that evolves with time. What I want to do, I want to make sure that I can kind of play that particular radar image out here just a little bit to track the motion of it a little better for the folks that might be out that way. So we'll put this on a little bit of a loop. This storm took very little time going from just a blip on the radar to a very mature storm that now has a very tightening kind of couplet on it that may produce a tornado here at some point in time. So paying attention to how that storm is going to shape out. And we'll see how that one kind of evolves with time. Again, this is why we're not saying all clear once that main line kind of comes on through. More storms can continue to pop up. More storms can kind of continue to develop as well. So we are going to keep an eye on any single blip on the radar there that happens to pop up into the area and see how it is able to tap into that environment. The instability is pretty high down this direction. So that's why we're starting to see those storms continue to pop up and bring some of the stronger storms this direction. Also want to bring attention back to the folks here in the southeastern corner of the area, places like Jasper County, Crawford County, Clark County, even into Cumberland County. That main line moving through some strong winds, and we'll check on velocity again that direction real quick. Last check, I do not believe there was any sort of kind of cores of rotation. There might be just a couple of spots there where maybe things are spinning a little bit. Nothing too concerning yet, though, especially at this high of a level. Got to be pretty tight in the upper atmosphere for things to kind of look a little better at the surface. But you can see across Jasper County, Hunt City, Willow Hill, you're about to get smacked by some pretty intense winds here before too long. So those bright greens, almost that whitish color, that's when things get really intense and windy as well. So we will see how that plays out as well. Guys, I can see your shot right now. I can see you've got plenty of heavy rain. I'm just going to let the folks watch and listen to you here for a minute, because this is the kind of heavy rain that they might have to deal with themselves for any storm that moves in that direction. So I'll kind of let you guys talk about the conditions you're dealing with here right now. Let the folks know what's happening.
Ooh, yeah, heavy rain coming in here west side of Effingham, essentially, as we are actually making a little bit of a turn here, and we're cutting back to the north, so we're coming in here to the west side of Effingham, essentially, on the outer belt. Can you guys? Okay, so again, we are here. Coming on the west side, from the outer belt as we come across. There we go. We are going to actually shoot back here to the north, but we had to, in order to do this, we basically are cutting through the extremely heavy rainfall that is moving through Effingham right now. If you're in Effingham, this is what you'd be dealing with if you had to be out on the roads and where we're driving, which I advise you, hey, maybe don't do that because it is torrential, and you're going to get some of that ponding of water on roadways. And so what we are doing here is going to escape back up here to the north. You can see just how heavy it is. We've got the windshield wipers on full blast, and essentially we're punching the core of our storm here that is currently severe thunderstorm warned in Effingham County. Some stronger winds, and well, there you go. A little low-lying area there. You get some of the water that pools up. Got to be careful of the hydroplaning here. So this is where a lot of plant truck entrances are here, where some of the trucking companies and whatnot are, and where they have a lot of their trucks here on the west side of town. So we are continuing to travel to the north here. We're just passing along the interstate here. And again, we have to be careful here because of the heavy rainfall that we're getting. You can see the water, it's getting kicked up as, again, Jacob is driving. I'm talking here, so he can focus on driving. But the amount of rain that's been falling with the system has been quite impressive, and they are moving so slow that you can really dump a good rain in a short amount of time, and that's exactly what's happening with all of these storms here. So the severe thunderstorm warning continues here in Effingham County, but we're still watching that tornado warned storm. That it looks pretty impressive on radar. Time back there near Farmers, and so the way that this thing is going, it could eventually portions of Christian County. So you're talking about between Morrisonville and the Harville area is where this eventually is going. It's about to cross I-55. So what I'm going to be curious about, hopefully the folks there that are driving on the interstate are paying attention, because this is a lot of times where we can get a tornado to hit vehicles, and we'll see it if there is a tornado debris signature that can show up. So we're going to watch this here. We're going to see what happens. The next scan that comes across, hopefully we don't see that TDS show up, which would indicate a tornado and potentially some damage there. So that storm is sitting right on I-55 at this point. We are again in the Effingham County area, just now north of Effingham, on the northwest side of town,
By the Civic Center.
over by the Civic Center now, and we're shooting back to the north because we're actually going to start watching those other storms coming out of Shelby County, the one there that's clipping into eventually Christian County here, but by the Effingham Performance Center is what we're just kind of rolling by here as we try to escape back up here to the north. So Seth, I know you were watching that storm there, the tornado warned storm that is crossing over I-55 right now. Definitely has got the most pronounced signature. It's got the hook there. It's got that little appendage. It's got the inflow. It's got the rotation clearly seen on velocity that's in there, and it's on the interstate. So hopefully traffic heeding that, and because they probably wouldn't have been able to see it there. It does look like that may not be fully rain wrapped, so they actually may have been able to visually see that storm down there. So again, we are tracking the storm here in Effingham County. We are just getting out of Effingham here and going to head back to the north, and we'll see what those storms are doing up there into portions of Montgomery, Macoupin, Christian, and eventually maybe into Shelby County there as well. So Seth, for now, we will send things back to you as we adjust course, and we're going to head back north and west and follow these other storms that are kind of coming in. So for now, back to you there in the studio. Some of our friends there into Christian County, southwest corner there, as it has been it's a pretty pronounced area there of rotation showing up there right on I-55 right now, and moving to the southeast, just that small little appendage there. It's going to be between Farmersville and Wagner on 55, and it's going to be heading there between Harville and Morrisonville in the next 10-15 minutes. Weather Service say anything about what they're seeing with any of that?
Yeah, they're just saying strong rotation in that St. Louis one. They're also keeping an eye on south of Martinsville and Clark County. And so just kind of watching all these different little storms. Even the storm they're talking about, we're heading towards, Kevin, near Lakewood and Shelby County is spinning a little bit.
Just real quick here, guys. I believe we're going to cut in here just for a
storms.
moment. So I'm going to cut you off here on the digital for just a moment while we let folks know on CBS what's happening with that tornado one. So we'll be back with you here in just a few. You say we are? Just go ahead and do it. If it's brief, yeah, I'd like to do it. All right, folks, we are back here in the studio here, WCI3. I'm meteorologist Seth Bonoff. Just wanted to cut in here very briefly. I know we've got some big-time national programming going on here with 60 Minutes, but I want to let folks know We do have a tornado warning. It is kind of on the edge of our area here, but I don't want to leave those folks out to dry. We got to let them know about things that are going on. There is a tornado warning out there for the far northern part of Montgomery County. This is crossing I-55 right now, right across kind of between Pittman and Farmersville. You can see that strongest rotation just there in between the two towns right now. So we want to make sure the folks out the direction are aware of this. Get to your tornado safe spot right now and shelter down. Just kind of ride this one out. Very slow storm motion, 20 miles an hour. That is going to take its time to make its way through. This warning polygon is in effect here all the way until 7:15. So that's about 45 minutes from now. It is not traveling very fast. We just want to make sure the folks that are in the path of this thing are well aware of it. This eventually could be making its way towards the very far southwestern corner of Christian County as well. So we just want folks to stay on top of this and make sure that they are aware of what's happening here. We're going to make this cut in very brief. If you want to continue to see some of our coverage, we're going to keep it up on our digital platforms. As long as this kind of stays on the edge of the area, we at least want to let folks know about it. We're going to keep things primarily here on our digital coverage so that a majority of folks can continue on with their CBS programming. So again, that's our Facebook, that's our Twitter, and again, on our website, WCIA.com, you can find this stream here on the weather tab. If you go to the Severe Weather Center, we have you covered. Just want to let folks know out there across northern Montgomery County, eventually in the far southwest corner of Christian County, tornado warning in effect for the next 45 minutes. We've got the rotation on it. It is crossing I-55 right now, and we just want to make sure that folks are on top of things. So again, we'll be over on our digital channels here. We will send it back here to CBS programming, and we will update you if things start to kind of get closer here to the main portion of our area. But for now, we'll return things back to our normal programming here on CBS. All right, so folks on digital, thanks for sticking with us here. Obviously, a little tricky to kind of juggle some things around here a little bit whenever you've got those active warnings and trying to hop on the air there as well. Kind of a complicated process sometimes to transition over. Just had to let the folks know that on air, wanted to make sure that they were on top of things here. So that way they were not at any risk and we could kind of guide them over here. So anyone that might be just now joining us from that little cut in, again, tornado warning, northern parts, just the very northern tail of Montgomery County. Looks like things have maybe pulsed down just a tiny bit. Still looks like a pretty decent signature out that way. And what I'll do here, I want to check, like what Kevin said earlier from the storm tracker, to see if there's any kind of tornado debris signature. There might just be just a little discoloration here and there. I don't want to say there's anything definite. Let me back up here just a little bit on this one particular part over Farmersville to make sure that that's not anything. Maybe there's a little something being tossed around. It's kind of hard to tell. There might not be a slam dunk signature that direction. So it might not be anything here on that product, but we will kind of watch and see if anything changes with that. So watching this tornado warning in the far northern part of Montgomery County, this could clip southwestern Christian County, in which case a place like Harville or maybe even just across 48 there could be impacted by this. So again, anybody that you know out that direction, please let them know about this storm here and just kind of guide them to safety, try to get them to pull over somewhere and make sure that they are staying aware of what is happening out that direction. Want to bring things out to a more wide view here, just kind of show you the situation happening all across the area. We have some strong winds in the southeastern corner of the area. That's mainly across parts of Jasper and Crawford counties right now, as that strong wind bag just kind of starts to move on through. Right there starting to enter Oblong and just east of Newton. That might be out there closer to the Willow Hill area. And so strong winds about to make their impacts felt there. Just brace yourself for that. Make sure that you are inside and staying away from any exterior doors or windows or walls for that matter. Continuing to watch any sort of rotations that might pop up in that. And of course, priority storm out there in northern Montgomery County, right over the top of Pittman here right now, soon to perhaps move just briefly into parts of Christian County. We put a little bit of motion on that, and let's see if we can slow that down and get it just a little more here recently. So you can see on just the last couple of scans, things might indeed just clip southwestern Christian County. So we'll monitor that and keep an eye on how that plays out with time. Obviously, if anyone joined us over here from CBS programming, they want to make sure that we are tracking this. This is going to get close to the Morrisonville area. Unless it takes a very sharp left turn, I don't foresee it kind of entering that particular part of the area. So hopefully we can kind of let this just roll through some rural territory without lots of without a lot of buildings up, so that way we can kind of get through this one unscathed here before it kind of pulses itself down with time here. But again, the Harville area needs to watch out. Any folks living closer to that mark right there need to stay on top of this storm. And definitely take shelter right now, get in your tornado safe spots, and make sure you just ride this one out. Again, it's going to take a little while for you to kind of get the all clear signal, because this tornado warning is in effect for the next still 40 minutes. So we just want to make sure that you are playing things extra safe here, and that you are not running any risks that you should not be here at the moment. If there's any folks in that area right now in the chat, please let us know if there is anything that you are seeing actively there in that location, because we would like to relay that along. If so, I know one person says the Farmersville sirens are currently going off, of course, as they should, with that storm moving right over the top of them. I'm going to slow down this velocity here so we can just see some of the latest scans. And we can see maybe things, again, have come down a little bit, not quite as sharp as it was at one point in time, but still enough there to keep an eye on things to see if there's any kind of continuation, as that eventually is going to escape its warning box. But we'll see if they continue any sort of warning with that. And even National Weather Service says that tornado warned cell in Montgomery County may be losing its better rotation over the last couple of scans, kind of like what we were kind of alluding to there with that storm. So obviously that is the biggest deal here right now, is that tornado warning in northern Montgomery County, but we're continuing to keep an eye out for everything else as well. What I want to do here, I also want to hear from Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy and Meteorologist Jacob Dickey. They are continuing their trip out that direction. Guys, you just want to let us know, again, kind of where you're at, and just in general what you're seeing with any of these storms across the area.
All right, sure. Seth, thanks a lot. So we're actually passing by some trees here. We've kind of done a circle. We're kind of back where we were not too long ago, between Beecher City and the Shumway area. We're watching these other storms here that we kind of pivoted, and we have left the storms that were going through Effingham County and through portions of Clark County there. So now we're looking back to the north and west, and we're going to have a view of them here in just a second. These are the storms that are going through the Clarksburg area and the Cowden area, and that line of storms that's located over there. So there once was a little bit of rotation on our storms here. So you're seeing kind of that shelf cloud. You're going to see that classic little shelf cloud develop here. That leading edge where those winds, it could be a little bit stronger. And there is still some broad rotation and association with that line, embedded within there. So when we come up here, up above the hill, you're going to be able to, see maybe a little bit of a clearer view. Of course, a lot of trees in the way here right now, but just behind those trees, there's a pretty large little shelf cloud there. We're watching all of those. Again, you've got that storm that's also back there to the west now. Again, going to clip just the southwest corner of Christian County. It looks like they carried the severe thunderstorm warning further instead of the tornado warning for the sliver of Christian County. So that is Morrisonville to Harville. That area there is where the new severe thunderstorm warning is. Okay, so now the view you get is looking into the storms that we have. This is looking straight towards the Cowden, Clarksburg, Stewartson area. Adjust the camera there a little quick, get her positioned for you. But you can see that that leading edge there, that's the shelf cloud. So within that, there have been some signs of rotation. If there was anything, you're looking exactly where some of that would potentially be. And so we're getting a nice little view of that storm there that continues to dive to the south and east and actually hit areas that were already hit not too long ago from a pretty good little storm that came through. So you can see the lightning there that's happening. And so looking across the bean fields there, that's the thing this time of the year, corn's tall. So you have to hope for another bean field there to get a little bit of a better view of things. And that's what we're getting here with this nice little structure showing up on it. The corner of this is warned.
So it's the Oconee storm.
So the Oconee storm to Herrick. So yeah, we're looking right into that storm there right now, and so we've got the view once again that we're giving to you from the storm tracker to show you guys what this thing looks like. A lot of lightning on it. Clarksburg. That's the direction that you're looking right into Clarksburg here, between Clarksburg and Lakewood. Yeah, so the Oconee storm there on the left side of your screen. So there was a reported so earlier when this first line came through around 4:58, there was a funnel cloud over the Lakewood area, and so that was with the first storm that came through. And so now we're kind of getting another view, another pretty good little storm once again. Now this one not as isolated by itself, so it'd be a little bit tougher, but there's still some of that broad rotation showing up near the Oconee storm, and so that's what we're watching here. See that area right there, that dark area that you're looking at right there on your screen is looking right into southern portions of Shelby County. We're actually on the Shelby Effingham County line. I believe that this road right up here, I believe, is the county line for Shelby and Effingham County coming up here, I believe. Just getting ready to cross over. So we're watching our storm here, keeping an eye on it, and then obviously the storm that is back there now coming into the very sliver corner of Christian County is where that tornado warned storm is. So we're just kind of riding along here on the edge of this one to see if we get anything. So we're coming up to the Holland Community Building that tees off here, which I believe this is it's got to be close to a county road that's right here. So that's what we've got.
1949.
Established in 1949. The
Put that
Holland,
back to the map.
the Holland Community Building. This thing is trying to, okay.
Travis?
Yeah, yeah. No, the one here in front of us, here off to our left, trying to surge a little bit. Boy, this thing's gonna be on top of us here pretty soon.
Got mode plugged in, so we're really backtracking.
Okay, we're coming into mode now. That's where we're heading, which is where we were. But yeah, I think this in just a moment.
In front of us, it's feeding in.
Inflow into the storm here, coming into right along the Shelby and Effingham and Fayette County lines, pretty much where we are. We're on.
All right, so I don't know if Jacob and Kevin, you guys can still hear me, but it looks like we're losing your shot here a little bit. So if you can hear me, it looks like things are becoming a little fuzzy. So I'm just going to bring things back inside here to the studio, kind of let your signal clear up and get people back here into kind of looking at some other stuff here. So we are going to put back on our radar picture and just kind of scan a couple of things here across the area. Of course, lots to continue to keep track of here as we continue to see these storms evolve here with a little bit of time. Still watching that kind of just that mess out there to the west across parts of Christian County into now northern Montgomery County. Just a little bit of that tornado warned storm still kind of transitioning over. It's kind of escaped the bounds of that tornado warning. So things have kind of transitioned over into more of a severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado possible tag continuing on as well. Same situation with the storm down there in southwestern Shelby County. This one too has a tornado possible tag as illustrated by kind of the red outlining there on that polygon as well. So continuing to track that. That's the storm Jacob and Kevin are on. Their shots kind of coming in and out here, so I'll continue to track things there in the background. Let you folks know what's happening that way. One thing I do want to bring up here is some of this action down here in the southwestern part of the area, or southeastern part, I should say, of the area, now starting to pass through parts of Jasper and Crawford counties. Just a big mess of storms, plenty of heavy rain there, but also some strong winds. Watching for any sort of features that may develop out of that. But as you can tell right now, things very dominantly look to be just kind of those long wind gusts and those strong wind gusts. Maybe there's a tiny little bit of rotation being detected near Newton, but that's not enough to really run with anything. So we'll continue to scan that. Definitely don't want to leave any folks out of the woods here because we're dealing with things in the far southeastern corner, dealing with things in the far southwestern corner. So we want to make sure we're continuing to bounce back and forth and not letting anyone miss out on that. But returning back to these storms over here closer to Christian and Shelby counties, 2 storms that have a tornado possible tag on them. You can see here on the velocity product right there north of Hanson near Oconee. You can see a little bit of that rotation still in play, maybe starting to kind of wrap up here just a little bit. Again, Kevin and Jacob are kind of looking out towards that one. We've got this one out there closer to the southwestern corner of Christian County. That one still does have some decent indicators on it. It does have that decent velocity signature. It has come down quite a bit in the last several scans, though, and it's kind of floating out into that weird radar territory where we're really aiming up there into that one. So they're keeping things just at those severe thunderstorm warnings for now, but things can very quickly change, as we've seen all throughout the night. Severe thunderstorm warning can become a tornado warning very, very quickly there, and we'll continue to watch out for that. Jacob and Kevin, I'm still watching you guys shot. It's still coming out here just every now and then, but it sure looks like you guys have some very rapidly moving clouds. Is that right?
A lot of lightning.
Not sure if they can hear me. Jacob and Kevin, can you guys hear me still? Okay, yep.
You can hear us okay? So we're looking right into the storm. We are literally right on this thing that is basically between Cowden and Stewartson. It's on the Effingham and Shelby County line. Lots of motion in this, surging southward. A little bit of a push on this here. The lightning has increased quite a bit in just a little bit, but boy, the clouds are moving along here. Again, we are literally just barely to the north of the Effingham and Shelby County line, 3 miles south of Mode, Fancher area. So, yeah, this thing is, boy, those clouds are cooking, coming across the screen there. I know, we're trying to kind of show you that view, but we're looking at this here. You can see that inflow, kind of the feeding into the storm, and we're literally right here.
Yeah, Kevin, I think that according to radar, the rotation's still just to our north, so it may end up being kind of tucked up in there a little.
Tucked up in the actually, it would be right over here.
Yeah, so let me
reposition.
let me get a view.
Yeah.
The wind is surging ahead where we are.
Yeah. Here. Yep. So there's your view. It's going to be right there. If you would have something. Contrast there on the camera, doing a pretty good job trying to pick that up, but we're looking right into this storm where there is a little bit of a surge here, and something right there in the middle, part of your screen is what we're finding with this, where that rotation is. There is some broad rotation within this. Again, this is right along the Effingham and the Shelby County line, south side. There's the lightning strikes that are showing up there, pretty prevalent. And so before long, this thing's going to be on top of us. We're going to get some strong winds with long as well. But we're looking at it. If there's something Bale here, I think straight road all the way to south of Stewartson there and connect back up with 32 probably. So that's what we're looking at there. Probably going to have something close within that, right in the middle part of the screen there, guys. So we're watching it. A little funnel in there or something. Again, it's kind of hard to see with some of the contrast, but we're looking right at it. If there's something in there. A lot of cloud to ground lightning. The motion here really picking up here.
You ready to go?
Yep. We'll go ahead and skirt back off here to the east. Wow, a lot of cloud to ground lightning here.
I don't think we're close enough.
So of the storm, and so it's be over here to our left. I know you can't see it well from your view there, but
Put 7 on this for shot line.
7's back. Now you're just looking into the heavy rainfall there. So, all right, Seth, we're just repositioning here. I'll send it back to you here for right now as we we'll catch another view of it here in just a little bit. But we are in the midst of it here, on the edge of this storm is, and whew, the lightning is intense in this area. They just popped a new severe thunderstorm warning for this cell that we are on just in the past 2 seconds. So I'll let you talk about that new warning that is in effect that stretches now into northwestern.
Okay, thank you very much, Kevin and Jacob. We'll bring things back here into the studio and kind of just catch you up to speed on all the new updates here that are going on our storm coverage here this evening. Let's take a look at that radar picture, and we will see still same areas that we've been watching here all night long, but we've got kind of this next cluster that's starting to build up strength on both ends of it. We've got that new severe thunderstorm warning soon heading into parts of Effingham County. That one is for northwestern Effingham County. Don't believe Effingham itself is included in that just yet. We'll kind of see how things evolve with that and see if anything kind of starts as it starts to approach there, see if the folks really need to really keep an eye out for that or if things will weaken by then. Just kind of taking a look at your velocity, looking at things all across these storms. Nothing looks crazy at this point. We don't have that same kind of tight rotation we did on that Montgomery County one. It's still there. It's broad. It's something we need to watch, but not quite the concern it was earlier. Obviously, that storm that Jacob and Kevin are on, that one has looked pretty good. They are now relocating to make sure that they can continue to keep eyes on it with some safe distance on it as well. Again, they're out there into that kind of western storm here in Shelby County. Now we're starting to pay attention to another severe thunderstorm warning that does once again have that tornado possible tag on it. This one heading into the Effingham area. At some points, it's still well off to your north and west. It's right over the top of Fancher, the core of that storm is. Let's check the storm motion on this one too. This one is moving at, if we can find it here, this one's moving at 25 miles an hour, so another slow mover. What I'll do is I will grab my tool once again here, and we'll track things out with that speed and see where exactly folks fall in the timeline of everything as that storm pushes its way on through. So we'll drag our cone here, take it for the next 30 minutes, and we'll see the towns that pop up there. Need to pay attention. Places, of course, like Shumway, where it's happening right now, out there towards the Ebenezer Church, and the northwest side of Effingham there, closer to where the Effingham Performance Center itself is. In the main part of town there at about 7:24. So this is all happening within the next 20 to 30 minutes for those folks right there in the Effingham area, but plenty of places still in the path of that as that eventually moves on over into the Effingham County area. Let's go ahead and bring up our Effingham Skycam positioned on top of the St. Anthony Hospital there. And you can see that's a nice looking kind of version of this storm. As you can just see the structure, it's a little still just a little hard to make out complete features right now, but as it continues to push on in, you're going to really be able to tell the striations here on this storm as that leading edge pushes on out, eventually bringing at least some strong winds and heavy rain with it, but potentially some rotation within that storm as well. So we're going to watch as that just barrels through here and starts to head closer to the Effingham County area. We've got a great look at that here, not only in the storm tracker, but on our Skycam as well. So we will track and see how that storm plays out with time. Continuing to monitor what's happening over there with Jacob and Kevin. They've got some kind of nice motion there on some of those storms. So I'm keeping a close eye on it there in the corner. And just want to remind the folks still in the Jasper and Crawford County areas that those heavy winds are moving through, that heavy rain is moving on through. Hopefully, though, before too long, we start to cross one area off the list, get those storms over out into the Indiana area, closer to closer across the border there. And then we will hopefully just be able to kind of narrow things down to one particular location here as we see these storms continue to move on through. It is about 3 minutes until 7 o'clock. So we've been covering things here for the better part of close to 2 hours now, or at least just short of 2 hours. So things continuously ongoing here, and it looks like we have a new tornado warning. This one is heading into Effingham County. This might affect Effingham itself. So what we'll do, production, are you guys still in my ear? Okay, we need to hop in here. We need to warn folks about a tornado warning heading on into Effingham County. So if you can make that happen here soon, we need to switch things over here. So what I'll do, I'm going to, I got to hop out of the picture here just real quick. I got to get things set up so that way we are ready to go here whenever we get back onto CBS here in just a moment. So we will set up things here and get ready to go as far as that goes. So just stand by with us here and bear with us while we get things switched over.
A little bit of a jog here, a little bit of a jog.
Yeah, there's a red right there.
Oh, that was right there. Hello.
Does that road look decent? That looks crap.
No.
You see anything to the right?
Bad road.
The rotation's right back there.
No, I don't. Nothing prominent.
Folks, we are breaking in for some more severe
Careful the water up here. Careful the water up here.
Close to the Effingham area, folks. In the past, this right now.
It's right behind us.
It's right 2,500 east. It's like it gets down to Shumway Airport. We're right north of Shumway Airport.
Yep, we need to keep going. Keep going.
You want me to drop south up here?
You need to keep going a little bit more south. Watch the water. Watch the water. Watch the water. We're gonna need to keep going.
East or south? Sure.
Wait, this is. Hold on here. Hold on here. Hold on here.
I feel pretty comfortable going south
South.
because it's unpaved for a mile and a half in front of us.
I mean, it's right there.
Oh. It takes us to the Shumway Airport. So if it's rotating, right?
It's right here.
Just on the outskirts of the city of Effingham itself.
Careful.
It's on.
Careful.
Turn the gate on.
Careful. Careful.
When you see our camera, bring us.
Okay, Seth, we are on the newly warned storm here, tornado warned storm. We're looking at the view of this right now. We're getting it to come up here. So you're looking at this. We are literally located right in the middle, 2 miles north of Shumway Airport is where we're located. The storm, you're looking at it right here on your screen, just to our right, as this storm is moving to the south and east towards Shumway. If you're in Shumway, you need to be taking shelter. This is the view that we're getting here. This storm ramping up, and we've been watching it over the past 10, 15 minutes or so. And so here it is right in front of us. We're getting, as there's maybe a little funnel that's trying to form over here. Middle right of the screen. So stand by here, folks. We are trying to dive south here to kind of stay ahead of this, but it is going to be coming up here on the right side of your screen here in just a moment. Tornado warning. If you're in Shumway, take shelter right now. This is right over here. Okay, you're looking at the storm. We're just kind of scanning the skies to see what we can see here, the view that we have.
Yeah, kind of looking at radar. I think it's going to be right here.
Yeah, so it should be right up here and in front of us here. We're watching it. If it's going to do something, again, we're right on where this rotating part of the storm is. If you're in Shumway, take shelter right now. We're keeping an eye on our storm here, looking for that funnel that could drop at any moment. This is the storm that is heading into northern and western portions of Effingham County. We are crossing 2000th Avenue and 700th Street. So if you're familiar, 700th and 2000th Avenue is where we are, literally just across and probably about a mile or so from Shumway Airport.
And you know, Kevin, kind of looking at radar as well. I think what we're seeing here is also the surge of wind on the south side of this. I think also we kind of got the back behind camera. I'm going to do a quick 180 and just get a peek of that here while we reposition, Kevin.
Okay, just repositioning here real quick to kind of get another view of the storm to see what we can see here. Again, we are just to the west and northwest of Shumway right now, getting that view. Now looking into that storm here So there's our view of the storm. Tornado warning, Shumway. Lots of lightning. We're about to get hit pretty good by probably the heavy rainfall here before too long. Just an incredible amount of lightning with this storm. The uptick in that has been definitely kind of showing up. And whenever you see that increase in the lightning, that is an indication of a very strong storm here. And so that's the view that we are getting right now with the tornado warning here. I'm going to let Jacob here readjust there. Seth, I'm going to let you kind of track that, and we'll come back to you here in just a little bit as we continue to reposition to try to keep ahead of this thing. But we're just about a mile north of Shumway right now. Take shelter if you're in that area. We're watching the storm carefully. It's a wicked, wicked storm, guys. Seth, we'll send it back to you for right now.
Of course, just shout mayor, maybe a wave on the camera there, and I will make sure to get things back out to you whenever you get yourself just positioned. Just to come back out here to we have got again here outside of Effingham County. Want to turn off Boston?
Keep going.
Really see.
Watch out. I don't know what that is.
Just be starting to shift a little bit to left. Have their opportunity to actually get there into the city of Effingham itself. We really have to play this scan by scan there because the main trajectory looked like maybe it was going to just go west of town here initially. Maybe things are straightening out a little bit and it will be on its way closer to the Effingham area. But right now, the priority is the folks in Shumway and anywhere in between there in Effingham. You need to be and now you need to make sure that you are kind of hungry down there for as long as this warning is overhead.
Stop sign.
We are going to continue to follow this storm here as it is soon to enter into a pretty populated area. So of course we want to make sure that we are on top of things here with that. I want to put on a freeze our velocity here. Put on a tool that tracks out the path of the storm. It's going to kind of spread out a little bit as I drag it even further to kind of allow for some for a little bit of wiggle room either left or right. So around 7:30 p.m. That's when it can start to be there in the Effingham area. So the next
Go straight here and then just get a little look while we can.
Sure.
Right now to get into your tornado safe spot there and make sure that you're protected. Of course, all the other places there on that list. Funkhauser around 7:25.
Okay, come to us, Seth. Come to us, Seth. Come to us, Seth. Come to us, Seth. Come to us, Seth.
All right, we have got Kevin and Jacob back again, guys. What you seeing out there?
Okay, so we just wanted to give you this real quick view, looking into the storm here. This is it right here. This is where the rotation is. I'm on the storm. You can see there's a little bit of a lowering. We're so close to this thing. I mean, we're right on this. And so again, this is just coming into Shumway right now. We are on the west side of Shumway. Rotation being seen. You can see the lightning strikes there that are coming down right in front of us is where this little lowering is, where there would potentially be a tornado. Okay, guys, and so we are just on the west side of Shumway, and this is continuing to dive south and east. It's going to come eventually, potentially, into the Effingham area here, guys. So again, you're looking at the storm. There it is. That little lowering that's in the kind of middle part of your screen is what we've been watching here this whole time. We're kind of getting what's called the RFD, the rear flank downdraft, which is kind of wrapping into the storm here. And so we wanted to give you that view real quick before we had to readjust, and that's what we're going to do now and head back here to the east to try to stay ahead of this. So for now, we'll send it back to you in the studio, Seth, as we reposition. Shumway, take shelter right now. Shumway, if you are there, be in your tornado safe spot in Shumway as this is coming in. And even down the line, Effingham, just be paying attention as this storm is coming there towards the northwest side of town. This thing's coming right in, guys. So stay with us. We'll continue to keep you up to date. Seth in the studio, meteorologist Jacob Dickey, chief meteorologist Kevin Lyda here in the storm tracker. As we reposition, we'll send it back to you in the studio so you can track that storm for the folks there. But Shumway to Effingham, shelter right now.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. Thank you very much, Jacob. Of course, make sure that you guys are staying a safe distance from that. We love the views, of course, but need to be able to stay a good safe distance from it. Here's the view from our Effingham Sky Cam from the St. Anthony Hospital. This is an impressive storm from a distance. You look outside, you see this, you need to start thinking about getting inside here right now because this storm is about 20-25 minutes away. It might take a little while for it to get there, but that's plenty of time for you to get down there to your shelter here right now. We're giving you plenty of warning time as this storm is about to move on in. We've got the best look at the actual core where the rotation is there with Jacob and Kevin, but just looking at this storm as a whole, the whole thing's impressive. Plenty of rain, plenty of lightning there in it, and some strong winds possible within it as well. Let's take us back out to our radar picture. Again, give some folks just a little bit of a reset. There's a lot of you that aren't being impacted right now. Anyone along I-72 to the north, there's nothing happening up your direction. We are focused.
No, look at the one back towards Ramsey.
That is where we have that.
West of Ramsey.
Right now, so if you're up there to the north, things are in good shape for right now. Doesn't mean that things are going to be in great shape the entire time, but that is why we are kind of focusing our coverage down here in the south, because that is where things are actively happening right now. There is the southeastern side of that storm, as it is tracking down and ready to head right there into the Effingham area within the next 20 minutes or so. So again, plenty of time to get to your safe spot there. But Cowden, don't take your sweet time. Get there as soon as you can, and make sure that you are prepared as the storm moves on. And don't want to discount any of the other storms here in the area, but just behind this tornado warning, look into the Cowden and the Herrick area. Look at that. There's some rotation. There's some obvious strong winds, and some of those kind of that couplet there right over here, Herrick as well. So we are continuing to watch several different storms here as they are heading down to the south, closer to the I-70 region. So even though there's no tornado warnings on those, these are strong storms. You need to be inside the Cowden, the Herrick area. Side. I'm just going to ride this one out. Very slow storm motion. Might have to be bunkered down there for a little extra longer than you normally are. But this is to just keep you away from anything that might be flying around out there, tree branches, anything that would be in the interior part of your house and as low as you can possibly go. So we are going to continue to track how that's going, and we are going to keep you up. How that is happening there as well. So we will continue to watch how these storms evolve here with time. But it's just these two main storms here at the moment, or these two main areas within this main storm that we are paying lots of attention to, as there is plenty of activity picking up here. We're going to come back to our Effingham Skycam and see what's happening out that direction. Again, you can just see the leading edge of that storm really starting to just make itself be seen. It was a little hard to see the striations there for a little bit, but you can tell this storm is impressive, and it is going to, at the very least, bring some heavy rain and some strong winds with it as well. Here we've got, looking at our view here at the Skycam, we've got Jacob and Kevin's view there and the storm tracker as well. There's plenty of action happening here all across the area. Kevin, Jacob, you guys have an update out there?
Yep, so we're looking back into the storm now. Got up ahead of it there. A couple miles there in front of Shumway now, but you're looking right into the storm. Maybe some broader rotation than what we had a little bit earlier, but still some of it showing up there. It's passing over Shumway right now. Again, we are now south and east of Shumway, but you're looking right into the storm. Whereas you can notice some of the motion within there. And that, those lowerings every once in a while. I'm not seeing anything immediately close to the ground, but you can definitely see the fast movement of our clouds here. And, yes, this is exactly where some of that rotation would potentially be. And so we're going to give you another little kind of a view here. And every once in a while, you catch one of these little fingers that kind of like come down here, and we look at what we call scud. But there is some of this rotation, trying to show up within here. Definitely, you're getting the strong RFD, the rear flank downdraft of the storm. We're also, that kind of feeds and kind of wraps around into the back side of it. And so that's what we've got. Broad rotation, I'll tell you this, man. Near Shumway, the lightning is constant there, and that stretches all the way back there between Stewartson and Cowden to Beecher City. That's what we're looking at here. So we're giving you the view from the storm tracker of this tornado-warned cell. We'll see what the Weather Service does, if they carry this any further or not. We don't see anything immediate here from our vantage point, other than what we've kind of been watching here a little bit. Definitely looked a little bit stronger about 15 minutes ago when they did first issue that warning. That's kind of been the good news here with these so far. It's been a lot of close calls, a lot of, strong rotation on them, an occasional little lowering that comes down, maybe a funnel or two. But as of this point, nothing fully condensing all the way down to the surface. But we're going to have to continue to kind of attempt to stay ahead of this thing here. We're watching that storm. The additional storms there, as Seth was mentioning, back towards Herrick, showing some of those rotating signs. And so there's the view that we're getting. And I got to tell you, boy, the lightning, man, it is wicked out. I've not seen a cloud-to-ground lightning show like this in a while. And a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning strikes showing up here with this. So, again, we are just north and west of Effingham now, south and east of Shumway, as the storms continue to move across. Still just looking at, analyzing the storms the best we can to see what we can see within these. The nice thing is they are moving at a fairly slow speed, and so we're able to kind of try to keep ahead of it the best we can. But if you're in this area between Shumway and Effingham, just be taking shelter because these things have been pulsing up and down a little bit. There's still some decent winds there between Shumway and basically where we were earlier near Moccasin and Beecher City. So definitely be on the lookout there, guys. So Seth, for now, we will send things back over to you there in the studio as you track that. This thing now just nudging its way into the northwest side of Effingham, which is exactly what we're going to be doing here as well. But boy, that lightning is just constant here as we look into this. So hopefully people can take shelter here from this and definitely get inside. More than even if there's not a tornado, boy, you don't want to be out in this lightning storm. It is quite intense here, but we're looking into the storm right now and going to have to just get ahead of it because the rain is about to pick up quite a bit in the next minute or so. So for now, we will send it back to you in the studio as we are in the tornado warned cell here into Effingham County. Back to you for now.
Okay, thank you very much, Kevin, and thank you very much, Jacob, for keeping eyes on the ground there. We are completely able to tell here on radar that this rotation has weakened quite a bit. Of course, the eyes on the ground are the best way to see it, but you can see things matching up here a little bit. Not quite as tight as it once was. You still have those greens and those reds together, but it's not the same bright colors that they were at one point in time. And it actually looks like the tornado warning has been canceled just a little bit early here. That was supposed to expire at 7:30, and it looks like things have been allowed to be let go of here early. I'm just going to continue to scan things here from the National Weather Service. They said they are pulling the plug on the tornado warning. It has the threat has diminished enough to let it go. So with that being said, there are no active tornado warnings in the area, and there's just barely a sliver of a severe thunderstorm warning here active in the area. So with that being the case, we're going to wrap up things here on CBS once again. In the event that we have another tornado warning pop up here within the area, we're going to hop back on and cover it here for you. But as long as that we are tornado warning free and the threat has diminished, we're going to wrap up things here. We'll still be on our digital platforms. Be sure if you're in the Effingham area to join us there. We'll still have Jacob. We'll still have Kevin able to take the view here for us and see things on the ground. And we'll continue to provide coverage for you there. But that's all we've got for you right now here on CBS. We will now return you back to your normal programming. Stick around for just a little longer. I don't think it'll be too much longer here, but for the next 30 minutes at least, and I'll update you from there. Yep. All right, folks, we are back here on our digital coverage. If you just want to let me know in the chat if you can hear us, and we will continue our coverage here again. As warnings have been lifted, things got pretty intense there for just a moment, but they have toned down enough to where those warnings have been lifted, but still plenty of strong storm activity to be expected here as these continuous storms plow through the area here and bring some impacts with them. Heavy rain, plenty of lightning, as Kevin and Jacob have been mentioning. Let's just throw on the lightning tracker here. It'll take a minute for it to kind of upload here some of the newest strikes, but there is plenty of them. These are just electric storms. The environment was just so much different down here in the southern half of the area than it was in the northern half of the area today. It was just so much more unstable, allowed these storms to really fire up there and just tap into everything. And that was kind of the thought, because the morning storms moved up that direction. The cloud cover stayed around that way, kept things cooler, kept things more stable. Not the same case down to the south, where they maybe even made it up closer to the 90-degree mark today. It was a hot and muggy day, and that is what provided the chances here for these storms that we are currently seeing right now. All right, we've got the lightning tracker here. Let's hop back onto our velocity, and we can see things are about to get busy in Effingham. Things are already pretty busy, it looks like, south of Herrick, as that rotation may be tightening up there just a tiny bit. We're going to watch out for that one, see if anything happens with that. But what I want to do is take a look at our Effingham Skycam. And you can see the definition, the leading edge of that storm is starting to escape the image here. That means things are about to pick up in a hurry. It's about to get real windy and real rainy. So make sure that you are staying inside, staying out of this mess, because at the very least, you're going to get a ton of rain and a lot of lightning through this as well. So stay inside here for as long as this storm is passing on through. You can just see the eerie leading edge of this cloud getting ready to pass right over town there. And of course, the birds making their way towards shelter as well. So that definitely means that you should as well. Just you can see the blue colors underneath this, the rain getting ready to move on through. Very impressive look here on the sky cam as this moves closer and closer. Let's bring back up our radar picture here, and we will continue to track things. The good news for a lot of us is that that main line of storms in the southeastern corner of the area, it has pushed out. It's mainly out there into Indiana now. So we've kind of just been able to spotlight our coverage right over here closer to Effingham, Shelby, and even out there into Fayette counties as well. Still impressive storms. They don't have warnings on them here at the moment, but they are still some strong and heavy hitting storms. And there is going to be plenty of winds with these storms as well. So we are going to watch for that threat as well as all the rain that is soon to come with it. So if you're joining us here on the stream, just kind of let us know. I know there's plenty of followers here in the Effingham area. Just kind of keep an eye on things. Let us know if you see anything, and that info is always helpful here as we try to track things kind of together here. Everyone's in this together as we watch all this, and you've got the best view. And we have got the technology here to let you know how close things are to you. Still really watching that feature south of Herrick, now moving into parts of Fayette County. It looks like it's got some pretty good, it looks like a nice tight couplet there. So we are going to see how that storm is treated as we move forward in time here and see what kind of potential warnings are given to that one. But let's flip back to the Effingham Skycam, because I know things are probably getting ready to pick up there before too long. You can see the leading edge of that storm is starting to move right over town there. So we are going to really see the activity pick up here in just a matter of maybe 5 minutes or so. And of course, Effingham, pretty busy hub. There's 2 interstates that intersect there. There's some nice highways that get there into town. So if you know some folks in Effingham kind of hanging out here on their Sunday night, going out into town, getting something to eat, or just doing whatever, make sure they know about this. Just let them know to stay inside here for as long as this storm is passing on through. Don't be trying to drive anywhere that is going to take you right into the core of the storm. We want you to not be impacted by anything as far as that goes. So we're continuing to keep an eye on that. I've also got Kevin and Jacob still with me here in my ear. Are you guys seeing anything? Do you guys want to talk about what you're seeing here right now? Are you ready for that?
We can talk to you here. So we've made another loop. It's pretty amazing. We've kind of looped a couple different times here on these storms. Now we're trying to dive kind of back southwestward towards Altamont, and we're going to watch that storm that's kind of coming out of the Cowden, Herrick areas of Shelby County. And so we're actually going to stretch back down there. We're on that belt loop once again, and heading back down to get to 70 and probably to the Altamont area, or probably on 40 to track southward towards the Altamont area. We're like I said, we are literally on the edge of where the heavy rain is about to kick in. So that heavy rain is about to hit us pretty hard here on the north with heavier, and they're about to get it once again. So saturated grounds here, and I have a feeling there might be some kind of urban flooding wave comes through into Effingham. So be careful on the interstates out there, where there are always accidents regardless of weather, but this kind of just makes it even worse. So be careful out there.
We're getting on it.
What's that?
We're getting on it.
Yeah, we're getting ready to hop on it here. So we're going to do our best to obviously stay safe here. I-70, we're going to hop on here and head west here in just a little bit, south and west towards the Altamont area, and catch that other storm. That may be kind of our last hurrah, so to speak, as we see these storms kind of congeal a little bit more and kind of dive south and east and out of our viewing area. But we're coming up here to 70, and we're going to hop on here and click back southwest here towards the Altamont area, and then watch those storms come in. But Effingham, it's about on top of you guys. So while the tornadic part of this, we're not seeing the same rotation we had a little bit earlier. This is still a fairly intense storm, and we're going to keep our eyes on it for you. So we're diving back on 57 here to then hop on 70, and we'll keep you up to date on what we are seeing here as Seth is back there in the studio. Again, Jacob here in the storm tracker, along with meteorologist Kevin Lighty, and just keeping you guys up to date. If you're in Effingham, again, you'll see the familiar cross there that you see right here on 57, and that's where we are passing by right now. And the big raindrops about to hit us. I have a feeling. And there you go. There come the raindrops. So Seth, for now, we'll send it back to you, and then we're going to dive southeast, and we'll let you know if we see anything else from our vantage point here, as that other little cell, that little appendage area there that is now south of Cowden kind of comes in, where there have been, some signs of rotation on it, similar to what we've seen here this whole time. But we'll just kind of watch that and then keep you up to date on what we see. In the meantime, back to you in the studio.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Jacob, very much for keeping us up to date there on what you are seeing on the ground. Let's also check out our Effingham camera again, because that one is going to show the big time rain, the wind starting to push on in there. So we're going to keep it on here for just a couple of minutes as the skies are getting a lot lighter there. But that means that rain is soon to push on through. That leading edge has kind of made its way on into the city there. And it is about to be a big time downpour with some pretty strong winds as well. So we're going to just keep an eye on this camera. Saw a few folks asking a couple things here in the chat just about what's going on here with any sort of warnings. We really don't have any warnings out there right now. We have just some general thunderstorm activity here. It is still strong, but it doesn't meet that severe criteria. Tornado warnings are no longer active. Severe thunderstorm warnings, at least for the moment, are no longer in play here. We are just watching just strong storms in general. Lots of thunder and lightning, lots of rain, and of course, sub-severe gusts, but still enough to bring some of their own impacts into the equation as well. So that's what we're seeing in Effingham as things are about to get a little busy there, and it's such a slow-moving storm. I keep bringing it back here to the Effingham camera, hoping that it's going to be storming by the time it gets on in there so I can show you that, but it's just inchworming its way there into the city. But the good thing is it has weakened quite a bit here within the last several minutes, and we're starting to see that lightning really pick up here on the horizon. So it is going to really start to storm pretty good there as this storm makes its way right there into Effingham. So hunker down for a little bit. Things look a little scary as that storm moves on through. But again, no warnings issued here for the time being. So at least rest assured in the fact that it's not as bad now as it was at one point in time. But we are going to continue to follow this as it is soon to make it rain here in the Effingham area. I'm going to just give a peek here at our radar real quick while we're waiting for that main line to start to push on into the city there. And here's where our activity is. All the stuff in the southeastern corner of the area has largely moved on out into Indiana. So now we are just tracking this stuff over here in the Effingham and mostly Fayette County areas. We check back on our velocity here. We are going to see still some wind signatures, but there's just not the same kind of rotation we saw at one point. There's still this little feature here in the north part of Fayette County, kind of just east of Ramsey there. Not too intimidating. We'll continue to watch for that, but mainly the rain is the big thing that is going to bring its impacts here. And there is probably going to be some sort of flood advisories or warnings or anything of that sort coming here soon. In fact, we do have one. I've got to check here on my phone to see where that's at. That is across Shelby County in the southeast corner of Christian County. That same spot of the map has been hit probably by 3 or 4 different storms, all with some heavy rain. So it's definitely no surprise to see those advisories, at least for the moment, popping up on the board. Let's look at our Effingham camera and see. I had plenty of time to talk about all that, and things still aren't there quite yet, but it is about to get really action-packed. You're going to see this horizon just disappear here in the matter of just a couple of minutes, and that's when that rain is going to just push all over there into the city. Again, this is from the St. Anthony Hospital, looking just a little bit to the north, but almost entirely to the west. That was a nice cloud-to-ground lightning strike that we just saw there, cloud-to-ground lightning strike. So things are certainly picking up here as that storm moves on through. You can see some of those low clouds pushing on in as well. And you know who's got the rain? Jacob and Kevin do. Guys, that does not look like a lot of fun out there right now.
Well, here's the nice thing. Jacob gets to drive and focus on that, and I can do the reporting for us because, so here we are on I-70 westbound, and we're going about 45 miles an hour. About 45 miles an hour or so because it's coming down so hard. We're about a mile
from the rest area here, again, heading towards Altamont, but boy, it is coming down here. So you have to be careful if you're out and about here and traveling on these interstates. Obviously, I don't see as much traffic as you normally would see here. I think maybe some people are heeding from the warnings and going out in this, but yeah, we got to go pretty slow because this area, as I mentioned before, got hit really hard already with storms. I'm seeing a few leaves and whatnot here across the interstate where those winds just kind of did pick up. So be careful of the hydroplaning on the highways. Got to take it a little bit slower. Again, I know you see us passing someone, but we're literally going 50 miles an hour here on the interstate. And you can see ahead of us some people that have their hazard lights on just ahead of us. I don't know if they're turning off into the rest area there, but people getting off of the rest area, which is, obviously a good idea for many because of just how strong this storm is. So you can see a lot of trucks and whatnot. I bet you it's pretty full right now because I bet a lot of people did pull off. So you can see the tracks are stretched all the way along on the side there of the shoulder because it is packed full right now with everybody just trying to take. And that is a small rest area as it is. So it is already pretty full. But so we're just trying to get ahead of this, just barely ahead of it as we head west on 70 towards Altamont. Again, currently no severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings are in effect, but this is about as close as you can get to having a severe thunderstorm warning. There has been a gradual downtrend, at least in the rotation of some of the storms, which is some good news, but there are still some little pockets of decent strong winds in here. As you can see, we're just trying to get just barely back out ahead of this, and we're starting to clear it. But the problem is we're going to get hit by the northern edge of this line, the line that we were kind of watching that came through the Herrick and Cowden area a little bit earlier, and that part's going to get us. But there's definitely going to be the concern for the flooding aspect of things down here. I won't be surprised if after this goes through that Weather Service is going to have to start, throwing out some flash flood warnings maybe because this next round that comes through is definitely going to drop some heavy rainfall across parts of Effingham County. So far, nothing. I will mention this, that it does look like things calming down a little bit back to the north, but there are a couple little showers there into Champaign County that are starting to show up. But there's nothing severe up there in Danville, nothing severe to the north where things are kind of north of the boundary, and so a little bit less of that threat. But definitely a threat for the heavy rainfall and potential flooding that can occur down here. A lot of water falling down in this area. So again, I know there aren't any additional warnings here. We're just kind of getting one last little look at the storms as they come crossing into northern and western portions of Effingham County for right now. But what are they talking about there with the mesoscale? Just heavy rain?
Yeah, there's just the concern for some more flash flooding through tonight, more storm development. So that's something that's it's kind of been discussed as I'm listening to the National Weather Service talk a little bit about that here as well. But we kind of got through that, Kevin. I think we're really turning to the flooding threat through the night tonight. That's probably going to focus itself where we've already had that rain. So Shelby County, maybe Christian County, down at Effingham County, probably had the best chance to see that persistent heavy rains. And you keep that up. I mean, those tropical downpours, they mean business. You can add that up, a lot of rain in a short period of time.
So when I look, and if you want to, you can pull this up too, back there, Seth, the storm total rainfall right there between Lakewood, northeast of Cowden, between Clarksburg, I'm seeing like some 3-inch rainfall amounts there. Shelby County got hit pretty hard. And boy, do those storms up there to the north too, up in Iroquois County near Watseka? Boy, this morning, man, those are some good amounts up that way too from those morning storms. But the stuff down here, again, showing about 3 inches of rain there into southern Shelby County, Lakewood, just maybe on the northeast side of Cowden, but kind of in that triangle of Lakewood, Clarksburg, Cowden, where some of that heaviest rain fell, and between Cowden and Stewartson. So those fields down there, they definitely got a good drink of water. We're about half a mile here from the Altamont exit coming in and watching this line of storms about to overtake us once again. But as we look at it here from a severe and rotational standpoint, just not seeing the same things we were seeing a little bit earlier. So
here's the thing, folks. We're probably going to start to kind of wrap up our coverage here, and we've got to we got to find dinner. That's number one. Number two, we have to get Jacob back up to the station so he can sleep. Oops.
Who needs sleep?
Because he's got to do the morning show in the morning. Adam is still off, so we've got to get Jacob.
Things always happen when Adam's gone.
Yeah, exactly. So we got to get Jacob back up here. So we're coming into Altamont. We got the Vegas Jack video slots in front of us here. So Vegas.
Yeah, last time I was in Altamont was that one storm, and I was about southwest of town. I was pretty concerned.
Yeah. You want to actually pull in here? Let's pull in here.
Do you want to guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Do you really want to go to the slots?
No. but we're gonna pull in here. And as this storm's gonna overtake us, we might get out and just let the storm kind of hit us here and watch it kind of pass by. But we're gonna pull in, and since there are no warnings here, just want to thank everybody that came in watching the coverage here this afternoon. And you know what? Yeah, get up there so that when it's pouring down rain here, we're gonna get gas. Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna head inside then before it gets kind of crazy here. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the coverage here. Seth, I'll let you kind of handle things from back there for now. But got interesting there for a little bit. Tornado warnings and whatnot. We were right on the storms there. So for now, listen, it's a Sunday, and you know that you can count on us for the coverage. So here we were. Rocking it down here in Effingham County, and looking at water rescue. Is that Clinton Lake? Is that right? Something's going on up that way. So, all right, guys, from Altamont and throughout portions of Shelby and Effingham County, where we've been here for much of this afternoon, we're going to wrap things up. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lane, Meteorologist Jacob Dickey, and Seth, back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin and Jacob. One thing's for sure, down that way, you will not run into any bad places to eat. So you guys are sitting pretty good down that way as far as that goes. So Kevin's right. We're going to pretty much start to wrap things up here. Obviously, there's some storm activity still moving through the Effingham area, soon enter the Vandalia area as well. But our severe threat really has dropped quite a bit here within the last several hours. Let's take a wide shot, look at everything here across the area. Notice the picture is very empty up to the north. We'll continue to watch and monitor to see if any storms pop up there. But I really do think that our best threat has really kind of come and gone here already. Now, that being said, there's still plenty of chances here for some rain later on into the night tonight. But I just kind of want to sum up things here just a little bit. One thing I want to show you, this is what I find impressive because we've had a lot of warnings here throughout the area today. This is your storm reports map. We have had one damage report in the area here throughout the day today. Now, of course, some of those damage reports can come in a little bit longer after the fact as people kind of go outside and take a look at things. But that damage report came all the way up in McLean County at 6:30 in the morning. So we have managed to get by here without any sort of reports here across the area. Aside from some of those funnel clouds, we have seen some of those. But as far as any kind of a wind damage goes or anything of that sort, any kind of those heavy rains impacting anything yet, so far unscathed. But of course, some of those may take a little bit of time to pile on in. So we will kind of see if anything else comes in there. But right now, things are looking pretty good as far as avoiding most of that mess. Another thing I want to show you here is our rainfall totals. It'll say 6-hour rainfall totals, but these storms happened in a shorter time period than that. But this gets me all the way back to about 1 o'clock there when some of those storms were actually starting to fire up. We look right there into the Shelby County area. That was kind of the big jackpot zone here. Let's drop a little marker there in that little orange spot between Stewartson and Cowden, 3.7 inches, so almost close to 4 inches in maybe just a couple of hours. So the rain was coming down pretty good. And even if it wasn't coming down all that good, pretty much every storm that was here in the area at one point moved right through that particular part of the map and brought some heavy rain with it there for a while. So you got yourself quite a bit of rain, hopefully not too much. Hopefully that doesn't add on to the totals you had yesterday too badly to the point where things aren't looking good. Hopefully you just got some helpful rain there and you were able to walk away from everything without too many problems down that way. Let's look at that Effingham camera here one more time. Storm has officially moved on in and you can barely see a thing there on the Effingham camera. So big time rain has moved on through. And we have kind of eased our way into more of that just heavy rain period with these storms, not so much the severe weather threat. So that is the look in Effingham right now. Another thing I want to take a look at here, I'm seeing this for the first time as everyone else here, our latest guidance that refreshes here every hour. It'll be able to show us some of those storms and how they could evolve again later on into the night tonight. And we will bring that forward here in time. Again, this model right now, you can see it's not depicting things the absolute best. That core is kind of over here, so it's not positioning things the best. So you got to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. But it usually gets the big picture down. There could be some training storms down there closer to the I-70 area, maybe some focus out here closer to I-55 as well. We'll watch and see how those storms evolve through the night. You're looking at some strong winds with some of those storms, but the main thing is you're watching heavy rain. There's plenty of those orange and red pockets that will fill on in there and bring plenty of extra rain. So hopefully it stays away from those places that were hardest hit with the rain, because there comes a certain point, everyone loves rain, especially when it's dry outside, but there comes a certain point where any more rain beyond a certain number is no good for anybody. It causes flooding. The ground can't hold it anymore, and things just become more problematic than they become helpful. So with that being said, continuing to see some folks' comments here in the chat. Things really picking up in Effingham. We've got some strong winds moving through there. We got a report, maybe even a flagpole snapping here. So things have really picked up there with that main storm. And we'll put velocity on here again and just kind of show you where some of those strongest winds are. Kind of an awkward zone as far as radar coverage goes. You're really looking high up in the atmosphere, but you can still see some indication that there could be some stronger winds in there. So again, it's this classic summertime stuff. You see this all the time here with some of these storms that pass on through. Same situation happening maybe just south of Ramsey there. Again, we're looking so far up into the radar scan here that you see these purple colors. That indicates the edge of the ability of the radar to scan. That's the Lincoln radar. This is eventually the St. Louis radar, and even it is kind of getting beyond its coverage area as well. So kind of just an awkward spot out there in Fayette County. But aside from just those sub-severe gusts, there's not a ton happening out there, so we are going to kind of slowly wind down our coverage. I'll maybe give it another couple minutes here to allow those folks in Effingham just to kind of stay on top of things, be able to move on through. But I don't have any sort of concern right here for any sort of additional warnings popping up here, even just kind of scanning through National Weather Service chat here. They're letting us know what they're seeing. Things are pretty quiet right now, so that indicates that they're not too worried about much here at the moment. Several power outages being reported here, according to you folks here in the chat. And I want to see if I can pull up some of those outage numbers. It's going to take a little time for it to refresh, but I haven't even looked at that here so far today. Good thing is there's not a lot of outages. There's a little less than 200 in Shelby County. There's about 150 in Cumberland County. And right now there's only about 142 there in Effingham County. So that's just a number right now. And we are in good shape there. It looks like there won't be any warnings here anytime soon. So we are sitting pretty good. Again, managed to get through things relatively unscathed. The winds were pretty powerful there for a little bit, but managed to not really cause too much chaos or too much damage, at least from what we've heard from everybody here in the chat. So we are going to pretty much wrap things up here. What I might do is leave the radar picture on here for a little bit and kind of just let you folks continue to kind of feed things here in the chat. But I'll admit, I'm a little exhausted. I need a drink. I need to take a little bit of a reset here, and I'll continue to keep an eye on radar in the background here. Maybe keep an eye on just a couple things out there in Fayette County. It's such a hard zone to really get a read on anything because it's so far away from any radar, but maybe a little something kind of taking shape here south of Ramsey. I've been seeing some velocity signatures way up in the atmosphere that are hard to judge anything with, just because it's not a depiction of what's happening on the ground. But if something happens, might be out that direction. Again, you can see something way, 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 way up in the atmosphere, but it is so far away that it indicates the storm is still a little strong in that part. But as far as rotation at the ground, good luck estimating that just based on radar imagery here. So you can see the Evansville radar. It's picking up some pretty good stuff up there. But again, that is well up into the upper levels of the atmosphere. That's a feature to pay attention to. But many of us are not immediately concerned with anything. You can kind of even see the direction that little velocity signature is heading. Hopefully it just kind of, again, don't want it to go anywhere. Hope it pulses down and doesn't affect anybody at all. But if it's going to just kind of avoid the Effingham County area, that'd be great. If it were just pulsed down as it gets closer to I-70, that's exactly what we want to happen. So we'll keep an eye on that. It looks like that is not going to be a problem out there for folks in Effingham or Altamont. Maybe a problem for some folks down there in St. Elmo, Brownstown, closer to Vandalia as well. Just some strong winds here for the moment. Again, there is no warnings out right now. That can always change, but we will be back here to update you on that if anything changes. Let's get a final check of your Effingham Skycam here, and we will see plenty of that rain moving on through. But again, no big time threat that it looked like we might have had at one point as the tornado warning was issued there. But thankfully, things toned down before it got too busy into the Effingham area. So with that being said, things are just pretty gusty right now. The rain's picked up. Diedrich's probably getting in on the action here before too long. Same with some smaller communities down there in the southern part of the county, such as Watson and into Elliottstown as well. Eventually Eberly and Winter Road, of course, my neck of the woods down there. So we will keep an eye on things for you in that direction, especially out there in parts of northern Fayette County as well. But we'll kind of quiet things down here for a little bit. Again, I'm not going anywhere. I just got to get a little bit of a reset. So I'm going to keep things up on radar. I'm going to turn off my sound, keep saying stuff in the chat. I'll continue to kind of check that here. But here for at least the moment, going to step aside here and just let you guys kind of check out radar imagery here for just a little bit. So we will be right back. And I'm going to have to do a very awkward walk-off screen here real quick because I've got to put the full screen graphic in here. Good thing we're just streaming. So that way things don't look too crazy there. Don't have to be too orderly here with the way we do things. So again, we'll keep on radar here for just a little bit. We'll turn off our microphones and we will keep an eye on things. And again, keep updating us here in the chats and we will check things out here over the next several minutes.